to 2 over the Toronto Blue Jays. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Tom Verducci and Harold Reynolds are both coming right up. Well, did you think we were coming back here after Game 2, especially the way that game unfolded with the same pitching matchup we have here tonight? Kansas City went up 2-0. Off to Toronto we went. The Blue Jays won 2 out of 3, and so now here we're back. And that means that David Price gets the ball again. The numbers aren't good for David Price in the postseason, Harold Reynolds, but you know, if he's just a rental, they made a big deal to get him from Detroit. It's to win this game here tonight to force a Game 7.
This is why you make the move in July, right? To get him, to put him on this roster and get him moving. Look, everybody's focused on the 0-7. He's had some good moments, and he's had some bad moments. You got to admit that. But the fact to me, look at the number. 213 starts, 104 wins. David Price is a winner. And if there's one guy you want in the elimination game, it's got to be David Price. Now, look. I think of all the games he's pitched, this is the most pressure on him because of the situation of the bullpen. I think you only got 2 guys that are reliable down there. That's the 8th and 9th inning. If you can get to those 2 guys, then you're in business if you're Toronto. So David Price, in my mind, has to go deep in the game in order for them to win, or season is over.
Yeah, very different story on the other side as we go to Tom Verducci. The formula remains the same for Ned Yost, and he's got the fireballing 24-year-old on the mound, Yordano Ventura. I'm anxious to watch him pitch.
Yeah, this is a rematch from Game 2. Remember that game? Shadows played havoc with the hitters the first 6 innings. No shadows tonight except for the shadow of that Royals bullpen, which looms over this game from the very first pitch. Ned Yost would be happy with 5 innings from Yordano Ventura because the depth of this bullpen. Not only do they keep the ball in the park, they keep it out of play. 12 strikeouts among 39 batters faced. The key to this game for Toronto, David Price cannot be the first starting pitcher to leave this ball game. They need length from him.
Well, we're ready to go. They're ready to go behind us. Let's play ball here in Game 6. The Kansas City Royals arrived in Canada 2 games up, dominating the series. But it was far from over. The city of Toronto rallied around their team, and the Blue Jays delivered. As the series shifts back to American soil, the Royals expect to close it out at home. But for the Blue Jays, momentum has swung their way. So which will be the greater force? It's Game 6 of the ALCS. He's allowed a leadoff hit, then retired 18 in a row. He was dominating until this. In the 7th inning, a ball that fell between Bautista and Goins. And then the great teams take advantage of opportunities like that. The Royals did. And ended up with 5 runs on 6 hits, a win, 6-3, and a 2-0 lead. David Price high-fiving anybody that will give him 5 back on his way into the dugout. And we get set to play baseball here on an unbelievable night weather-wise, at least at the moment, as the 24-year-old Yordano Ventura, so young but seasoned. This will be his 8th postseason start before the age of 25. And he was on the mound with his team down 3-2 last year in the World Series. Here at home to the San Francisco Giants, pitched 7 shutout innings and won 10-0. And right now, I thought it was interesting that his quote said this: "Very fortunate and happy that this game has landed on my turn in Kansas City with the opportunity to take this club to the World Series." That's what he's got in front of him. And here's the lineup he'll face in Game 6. It's brought to you by IBM. John Gibbons, no changes. Ben Revere will lead it off. He's a left fielder. Josh Donaldson at third, then Jose Bautista in right. The DH is Edwin Encarnacion. Calabello at first. Tulowitzki's been red hot. Had the huge break it open hit in Game 5. Russell Martin, the catcher. Kevin Villar is in center, and Goins is the second baseman, batting 9th. Give you some of the stats, but this is all history. Whether it's recent history or Blue Jay franchise history, which has virtually nothing to do with tonight, because tonight it's Ventura and it's David Price, and no matter what the numbers say from back in 1985 or 1993, wad it up, set it on fire, and let's see how these 2 guys pitch here tonight.
No doubt about it. And like the cliche always says, it's the next day's starter. It tells you about momentum and everything else. It's been a great series so far. We've had ups and downs, but we really haven't had that close ball game like we're still waiting and anticipating to see.
Yeah, Ventura, Joe, you mentioned 7 previous postseason starts in his career, averaging 5 innings in those starts. You know what? That's good enough for this Royals team with that bullpen.
Look at that bottom right part. Forecast chance of rain after 11 and may come sooner. Our blimp is telling us that it's about to bail because rain is on the way. But right now, you would be hard-pressed to believe that we're approaching November in the Midwest. 70. That should give Ventura a little better feel on his breaking ball, which is important according to Ned Yost. Strike one.
Joe, that's important because that's his out pitch. The key for any pitcher, fastball command. For Ventura, that gets him ahead. The put away is the chase curveball out of the zone.
It was interesting. From pitch 1, it looked like he knew he was going to take. He's pitching out of the stretch.
Revere 3 hits in this ALCS. So a different look here by Ventura to start it. 97. Maybe a little high, ball 1. This will give you coverage in Spanish by tuning to Fox Deportes. 1-1. That is fair. Down the right field line. Good start for Revere. Into foul territory, and it's a leadoff double for Ben Revere. He hasn't been a huge factor in this ALCS yet, but that is a big start.
Well, he started to swing the bat the last game and really started to be the guy that they expected to ignite him. Gets a fastball in and turns on it. Just drills it down the line.
Yeah, really curious to see him come out from the stretch. I know that simplifies things, but he also slide steps. That's a 2-seamer at 94. Typically, you'll see him at 97.
You know, they try to do that, mixing up the rhythm with Cueto to keep those guys with the leg kick off balance.
Now we'll see how Donaldson gets along as he goes up there pumping. Strike 1. Donaldson now, Bautista on deck, then Encarnacion trying to get the early Game 6 lead down 3-2.
It's been fun watching Josh Donaldson every day. You know, we talk about guys that are MVP candidates, had an MVP year, but we talk offense all the time. Everything he does has been great, defensively and offensively.
Another one off the mask for Perez in the count 0-2. Toronto in this series is 11 for 46 with runners in scoring position, hitting .239 as a club. And again, this was the team that led the big leagues by a mile during the regular season in runs scored. Over 800, 5.5 a game. He went around, 1 down. As Perez finishes it, big strikeout.
Did you see how Perez came out on that? Immediately looking at Revere to see if he was going to run, and then threw the ball to first base. He knows it's a strike. He's watching the ball. He knows he's gone far enough. He blocked it, but I thought just the presence of mind. Watch him here on this. Picks it up, looks straight to second. Okay, now I'll go to first and get the out. That's next level right there.
So Revere at second. Donaldson does not advance him. The batter is Bautista, who has yet to go deep in this series. That's into right and easy for Rios. 2 out. Home plate umpire is Jeff Nelson, with Jim Reynolds at first, Laz Diaz at second. John Hirschbeck is the crew chief. He is at third. Hunter Wendelstedt in left. Dan Iasonia in right. So from the leadoff double to a runner at second, 2 out, and the DH Encarnacion digging in.
It's a tough matchup for Ventura. Encarnacion has been on his 2-seam fastball down in the zone. That's another good hack.
Well, we talked a lot about throughout this series the aggressiveness on the first pitch. But when you have pitchers that are around the plate, you can do that. They're not chasing balls that are 2 feet off. You know, they're getting good pitches to hit on the first pitch.
Left side, Moustakas backs up. And got it. How about the kid, Ventura? And the Blue Jays still have not scored in the first in this series. Royals coming up as the kid gets around the leadoff double. Starting lineup for the Royals brought to you by IBM. Alcides Escobar. The hardest out in either lineup. Ben Zobrist, Kane, Hosmer, Morales, Moustakas, Salvador Perez, Alex Gordon, and Alex Rios.
Take a look at Alex Gordon right there. He hit a foul ball yesterday's workout off the cage into his nose. And it was the second time he'd done that this year. Missed most of the workout yesterday, but he did take batting practice today, and he's back at it. And the nose looks okay.
This guy's only hitting .526 in the ALCS. And as always, first pitch swinging, strike one. It's almost a joke in the Blue Jays clubhouse with the starting pitchers. Like, you ever want to bounce one up there just to see if he'll swing? Because you kind of feel like he would.
I'd borrow R.A. Dickey's knuckleball. He'd probably swing at that, too. Smart by David Price to throw it out of the zone. Take the strike.
How about both guys starting out of the stretch? It's a little different look for Price. I mean, that is literally the shortest windup in the history of Major League Baseball. It's one little baby step. But he's basically Harold side saddle to start.
Yeah, a lot of pitchers have gone to this delivery this year. It simplifies your mechanics. It keeps your shoulder on your target.
That's up the middle. Nice play by Goins. One out. He can pick it.
He has shown us what defense is all about. His delivery from David Price. This ball's going to be a bullet right past him. But watch Goins once again. Look it in. Take your time. He's got the arm strength to know it, and he knows who's running. Beautiful play.
Let's just get these stats out right now. We told you the home plate umpire is Jeff Nelson. David Price's last 5 starts with Jeff Nelson as the home plate umpire. He's 5-0 with an ERA of 1.96, 41 strikeouts, and 36 2/3 innings.
He woke up and said, "Thank you very much," knowing who was going to be behind the plate.
Strike one over the inside corner. And in August of 2011 with the Rays at Toronto, with Nelson behind the plate, Price struck out a career high 14 in just 7 innings. 8 of the 14 called third strikes. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And you can see David Price massaging the strike zone. In right there to Zobrist, away, seeing what I might be able to get, and then continue to stretch it after that.
That is hit well down the line. Into the corner. It is gone. 1-0 Kansas City, home run Zobrist.
After the changeup away, he tried to bury the cutter inside. And when you don't get it all the way in, it's into the barrel of a right-handed hitter.
Tell you what, I take it another step further, too. Ben Zobrist played a lot of years behind David Price. And he's probably very aware. I remember playing behind guys. Okay, change up away. He's throwing his cutter back in. You have a real good idea how guys pitch systems, and he's played enough behind him to know it.
Now Kane checks on the third baseman Donaldson. 2 out.
Remember when Zobrist hit the pop-up in Game 2? He slammed his bat down. This is what he does when he hits it well. Lays it down gently. Good work by the bat. Deserves special treatment. You see that cutter is designed to get in off the plate and it stayed in the barrel.
Hosmer hits one up the middle. Good pick by Tulowitzki. What a play.
Wow, home run and 2 what a plays. They're hitting the ball pretty good.
Yeah, they're seeing it tonight. The Royals against Price in the first, but it's number 18. Picked up mid-season. Paying dividends since they got him. And a home run in Game 6, 1-0. Kansas City on top. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by T-Mobile, switch to the Un-carrier today. First inning runs. Those are so valuable, and the Royals get one here tonight, provided by him, Ben Zobrist, as he provided back in Game 4 in Toronto. First up, Colabello, homered in Game 5. Strike one.
Hey, Joe, I got a chance to talk to Ryan Lefevre, who does all the Royals games. He said this is the first time he has watched Ventura pitch out of a stretch to start a ball game since he's been covering them, since he's been here as a Royal.
The 0-1. Sounded like a broken bat. Shallow left. One out as Gordon puts it away.
Well, there's Mr. Quick Strike. Have you seen it before? Oh, yeah. How about Game 4? Knuckleball from R.A. Dickey gets the Royals out in front 2-0. Tonight, well, something in the replay. Nobody on, but same result. Home run first inning. Ben Zobrist 15 home runs this year. 7 of those in the first inning.
Now with one out, Tulowitzki. Early in the postseason, but he was talking about the fracture, the crack in his left shoulder blade, trying to explain why the offense wasn't there. He went 2 for his first 25, but he's 7 for 15 since. With a home run, 7 RBIs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, H, you talked about pitching out of the stretch, facing a team for the second time in 5 days. Maybe not a difference in stuff, but certainly a different look. He's actually been varying the leg kick. Sometimes a slide step, sometimes a medium height leg kick, sometimes the full leg kick.
I take that back to Johnny Cueto, in the fact that Cueto loved to change the motions, even though he didn't have the great stuff, but he kept them off balance early. When you have a team that uses a lot of leg kicks and rely a lot on timing, as a pitcher, you try to break up the rhythm.
Remember, these Royals started the postseason, and Ned Yost had this guy, Ventura, the 24-year-old, lined up as the #1 starter. Not Cueto, not Volquez, Ventura. Still 1-2.
Even going back to opening day, Joe. You know, he looking back on it, he thinks, well, maybe I gave him a little too much responsibility early on, and Ventura was involved in some, well, I'll call them incidents, trying to prove himself as a #1. Wasn't quite ready. This time of year, perhaps he is.
I'm really curious about how the stretch works out. I'm not a big fan of it because I don't think he puts as much on the ball as he normally would.
2-2.
And I think a lot of times as a hitter, for a guy like Tulowitzki, for example, who doesn't use a big high leg kick, you're giving him a little bit more. If you're losing that extra foot on the fastball or 6 inches or whatever because you're not throwing 97, you're throwing 93 or 4, that's enough for a guy to catch up to you. We'll see how this works out.
He's even varying his holds as if there's a runner on base.
Moustakas with a nice little backhanded pick, 2 out.
The other thing that happens a lot of times when a pitcher goes into a stretch, it calms him down. He's been a guy that's been a little more amped than normal, and we see him animated an awful lot. He's started a couple confrontations this summer.
Well, part of that, Harold, is pitching inside. And the Royals want him to continue to pitch inside. Ken Rosenthal is with us field level as Russell Martin steps in. Perez sets up away. Strike one. Kenny, he has to still pitch inside.
Right, and Royals pitching coach Joe Dave Island has emphasized that to him. Giordano told me in September, after that first incident with Brett Laurie in April, it really got into his head. He stopped pitching inside. He said every time I went inside, I had trouble on my hands. But Island said, listen, this is who you are. You have to be that guy.
0-2 on Russell Martin. I'd say so far so good.
No doubt.
1-0 Kansas City. On the first inning, Zobrist home run. DH, the switch hitter, Kendrys Morales is first up, takes a strike on the inside corner. Morales, then Moustakas, then Perez, with the Royals up 1-0 against David Price. And with all those numbers that I gave, all the success, 5-0 over his last 5 starts for Price. As Morales flies one into right, Rios back at the wall for a loud first out. The question would be, the home plate umpire Jeff Nelson, is that something that Ned Yost would try and map out? That's just the way it worked out because of the usage of David Price during the division series. He was primed for game 2 in this ALCS, and that brings him back around for game 6 here tonight. It happens to be Jeff Nelson's night behind the plate. That's a strike. Said Yost, talking about Gibbons, obviously the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, and Price. And some questions as to how he's been used so far this postseason by that man. As the count's 0-2, and you know, what else do you want? Here he is in a position on full rest in game 6. You're 2 wins away from the World Series. I mean, you get nitpicked, you go into the playoffs. That's just what happens.
Well, we followed this Toronto team all the way through the Texas series to now, and I think he's used him how he's had to. It's all been a factor of their pitching staff. And if you've seen one thing from David Price, Tom, it's not just a starter. He's a pitcher, and that's how they've used him.
Yeah, I think Gibbons has done a great job. That elimination game in Texas, 6-run lead, but R.A. Dickey, fly ball pitcher, and all the left-handers in the lineup, you can't let trouble even start.
Moustakas into right center field. Bautista will watch. Come on. 2-0 Kansas City, home run, Mike Moustakas. That's his first of this postseason.
Well, we've watched the middle infielders make 2 great plays last half inning. A ball to the wall that Bautista makes a play on. Here's a changeup hung out over the plate that gets drilled by Moustakas. And
the umpires are going to get together and make sure there was no interference. Bautista was calling for it immediately. And that's a reach over that wall up above the green wall.
And everything's got to go above that the screen up there. And so from that vantage point, looking at the grounds rule, that they might get this call back. It's a pretty clean ballpark. The fans actually sit back, and to reach over, That's going to be a tough judgment call for them in
Well, you can
Chelsea.
see. I mean, you can see it hit into the glove and then off that little screen up above that green wall, Tom.
Yeah, we'll take a good look at this, but I agree with you. The reaching out in front of the wall and then coming back and hitting the wall would seem to indicate the path of that baseball was not clear over that line.
They show it on the video board here at Kauffman Stadium.
Well, it's a pretty clean grounds rule. It's got to go above the green in this ballpark, and that other fence sitting back there is kind of behind. It's got to clear that area as well. So I think this is going to be overruled. It's going to be a ground rule double if so. Now, if we were playing wiffle ball in Joe's backyard, that would probably be a triple and over the line, right? Because it's off the wall and had to clear everything for the homer.
Sure. Yes, I'm with you on that. But I just don't think there's any doubt about that. And then the umpires, it's their discretion because of the interference to place the runner likely at second.
Yeah, I would think you place him at second base. You got to consider who's running, how hard that ball was hit. And I think they placed him at second. Now here, this guy's an instant star. So he gets kicked out of the ballpark.
Well, let's say this on the other side of it. Morales ran Bautista back to the wall and right, and they're still going to say home run.
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
John Gibbons is going to ask why.
Yeah, that's interesting. This normally doesn't happen upon replay. John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, went over to explain to Ned Yost the call. Jeff Nelson now talking to John Gibbons with an explanation.
See, he's questioning. There's a couple tricky parts here in this ballpark. When it's over two down the line, it's got to clear all the green. As you'll see the fence, there's a fence right there. And the question is that Gibbons is probably asking, it's got to clear in my mind that the green out there, not just the fence. The fence is behind the wall where the people are sitting.
Well, Perez will dig in. We'll get clarification on it. But as it is, the fan reaches over, becomes an instant star, and the ball hits into his glove off the top of that fence, and it's ruled a home run.
And meanwhile, David Price has a problem. The problem is the left-on-left changeup. The changeup to the left-handed hitters. It's what killed him in the 7th inning in Game 2. Hosmer hit a 1-1 changeup for a base hit. Moustakas hit a 2-2 changeup for a base hit. Gordon took a 2-2 changeup and got a fastball on 3-2. Left-handers are seeing that changeup from David Price.
He's got to mix in something softer, a breaking ball of some sort.
Well, that's where I was going with it. Every out has been hit right on the nose against David Price to this point.
No doubt about it. He's going to have to. The problem is he's going hard with everything, including the changeup. He'll take a great swing.
Well, one thing about David Price, he is always around the plate. You talked about his mechanics. Very simple, designed to be a strike thrower. And yet you're facing a team that is so aggressive, they will not concede you a strike. The combination right now is in Kansas City's favor.
That's strike 3 called. And out number 2.
And that's an adjustment he has to get to. That's a curveball right there. Pulling the string a little bit. Catching the corner. Gets a breaking ball on the outside half. And it's just enough. It doesn't have to be great. It just has to vary the speed a little bit. And that's what he had to do. Drop the nice one in there right there. But that's 80 miles an hour. Everything else is in the mid-90s. You got to mix it up. It's a good pitch.
First pitch now is inside for ball 1 to Alex Gordon. The word that we're getting is that the replay official could not definitively overturn the call on the field. And that it wasn't a clear look that the fan reached over and touched the ball, interfered with a baseball, and that it wouldn't have left the park otherwise.
And 90% isn't good enough. I mean, we saw it in the ballpark. Obviously, not 100% sure back in New York.
That is just crushed, but foul.
Well, that's the importance of the call as it happens, because once a call is made, it's so hard to overturn. And that's the difficulty of the star catching that ball.
I think Price may have to go to that curveball more often.
He's got to get something to get him off the ball, either knock somebody off the plate, because of the background between these two clubs coming in. We thought, uh-oh, make sure nobody gets hit. You got to knock somebody down if everybody's going to take big swings at you, or you got to come up with some kind of off-speed pitch to keep them off your fastball. But they're on everything.
Here comes a 2-2 pitch from Price. He fooled him. And the inning is over. We have further clarification on that home run, which we'll get to in the next inning. David Price is now allowed 2 home runs. Zobrist and now Moustakas. It's game 6 of the ALCS. And it's 2-0 Kansas City behind Ventura. Kevin Pillar is first up, and he takes a ball. We're underway in the 3rd inning. 2-0 Royals on 2 solo home runs. We'll go back through that ruling in the bottom of the 2nd. As Pillar leads it off, then Goins, then Revere against Ventura. That's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pillar has had a nice run. Over his last 20 games, he's hitting .418. It goes back into the regular season. They found a center fielder in Toronto as he's up on the count here, 2-1.
Well, they really have. He's done a nice job, particularly like you talked about the numbers there, Joe. But he does something every night. And I think the energy he brings as well has changed the outlook of this club. And it's given him something at the bottom of the order they didn't have before. Some speed, he's hitting with power, he's doing it all.
Here comes a 2-1. That's hit well down the line. Hooking into the corner. It is just foul.
Hitter's night, folks. This is
nice reaction by Sal right there. Woo, that was close.
When you come out and you're thinking you're in fall and you're playing playoff baseball and it's 70 degrees. You're taking batting practice, you got a nice lather going, you come to the game, you're not going to get your hands stung or wrung. This is a nice feel.
Here comes a 2-2. That is caught by Hosmer, 1 away. And this is a Royals defense that's made 1 error in now 11 games, including tonight this postseason.
And this is why as series goes on, it becomes more difficult to get hits, because you've now figured out how are guys going to attack certain pitches, and you're able to position yourself more. In this day and age of seeing the shift, you get a greater understanding of that. But even in a conventional, you're still making moves to figure out where you might hit the ball.
Here's Goins, ball 1.
That defense to me is such a key for why they're such a good postseason team. They give you absolutely nothing. We've seen their offense capitalize on mistakes, but you know going in playing Kansas City, you better play clean baseball because you know they will.
Here comes a 1-0.
Hey, Joe, I was talking to Hosmer about, okay, who was your guy growing up at first base? I mean, it had to be Don Mattingly, right? Will Clark, who was it? He said, yeah, those guys are great, but J.T. Snow was my guy. How about that?
Good pick. Long-time San Francisco Giant. As Goins falls into the hole, 1-2.
So far, the game plan for Ventura, perfect. get ahead with fastballs, get to the chase breaking pitch. And the fastballs, interestingly, a lot of the two-seamers under control. Not seeing the 96 on the two-seamer, a lot of 91s and 92s, painting more than throwing. Back to the chase breaking ball.
With 1 out, nobody on. Now 2 out as Perez blocks it. Strikeout number 3. And let's go back to the home run by Moustakas. As you watch this ball travel, misses the look. As you see the glove hit the ball on the top of the wall, there's 30 inches of wall and padding up on top between the front edge of that wall and that back railing. The back railing is irrelevant. Looked for a moment like that fan had reached over, but I think that above look that shows that the ball was going to skip off the top, at least, Tom, leads you to believe that they got it right, because there's not enough evidence to definitively say it wouldn't have left the park.
Agreed. I mean, you just can't look at that and say it's clear and convincing to overturn it.
The tricky part was there's 2 gloves down there. Not one, but 2 people reaching. One glove was brown, the other one was the black glove, and he's getting an interview.
Your 15 minutes have arrived.
0-1 on Revere, now 1-1. Ben doubled down the right field line his first time.
You know, back to Ventura real quick. It looks like he's taking a page from Cueto and also Volquez. Cueto disrupting the rhythm, and Volquez with the movement, not worried about the velocity as much.
Another one hit hard, but this one's foul. Strike 2. There's Cueto. He would get the ball tomorrow night in a Game 7 if there is one against Marcus Stroman.
And if you're wondering, it's been 7 years since he cut his hair. I asked him today. I had to.
Struck him out. And that's 4 for the 24-year-old who looks determined here tonight. 2 home runs for Kansas City, up 2-0. Zobrist here in the 3rd inning, up 2-0 on David Price. Rios 5 out of 16 with a home run in this ALCS. Ball 1 inside.
Well, Rios has hit the ball real well off David Price in his career. Again, he's another aggressive fastball hitter. Woo, what a hack.
A lot of that damage getting Price early in his career. Last 4 years, just 5 for 22 against Price. Don't forget, Price, different pitcher than he was early on. More of a 4-seam curveball pitcher when he first began. Mixes in his pitches much more now.
1-1. To the right side, a long run for Bautista. He's there and hangs on. We had a chance to visit with Ned Yost, manager of the Royals, and first question or statement was that his young starter Ventura looked determined tonight.
He does. Warmed up great. I asked Dave. Went out on the mound in the first batter. He was throwing from the stretch, and I told Dave, "What's he doing?" He goes, "I don't know," but you know, Rivera ends up hitting the double and stayed in the stretch and got 3 big outs. And Dave came in. He said, "Look, I'm just trying to get my tempo." He said, "I'm just trying to get comfortable out there. It feels pretty good." And Dave says, "Well, you do whatever you need to do to get this job done tonight." But he's throwing the ball great.
Yeah, what's going on down there? You had Volquez changing his game plan on the way in from the bullpen. You guys are fluid down there.
Yeah. Well, whatever works, right?
Yeah. Hey, it looks like you're getting good looks off David Price too. You guys are hitting it hard.
Yeah, we're hitting the ball pretty good. We're getting some pretty good swings on him right now. Big hit by Moose. I wasn't sure that ball was hit high enough to get out, and luckily it was. But putting together some good at-bats against him so far.
Hey, we appreciate the time. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
He's got Escobar up. Alcides is 10 for 20 in this ALCS. Easy for Bautista. Back a few. 2 out. Share your favorite play ball moments on Twitter and Instagram using #playball for the chance to be seen by millions of fans. MLB will retweet and regram some of the best moments on the official MLB social channels.
And we've seen 4 curveballs already since the changeup was hit for the home run from David Price. Normally, course of a game, such as game 2, they're only about 10 or 11. Got a feeling he's going to throw in some more tonight.
I was talking earlier when Zobrist hit the home run off David Price. He's played with him for 7 years in Tampa. And Joe, I'm telling you, when you play behind a guy, you get a feel for what he does. I remember playing behind Randy Johnson. 2-2, it was going to be a slider. Mark Langston, he got 0-2. They're going to waste one way away from the hitter. You just get a feel for what a guy's going to do. And that's the advantage of if you pay attention to playing behind a guy. Doesn't mean you'll hit it, but it helps.
The 2-0. You saw that note. Morales with his 3 left-handed home runs, 1 right-handed. Zobrist 1 left, 1 right in this postseason. The second pair, the same lineup to homer from both sides of the plate in the same postseason since '64. Tresh and Mantle.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
2 balls, 2 strikes now on Zobrist.
I'm trying to think of combination of switch hitters that have come along with that kind of power. I mean, Eddie Murray. I don't know who else was on those Baltimore teams that could have joined him. Chipper Jones in Atlanta.
Zobrist spoils it.
Yeah, those Yankee teams with Bernie Williams, Jorge Posada, Jimmy
Yeah.
Davis was in there. Because they never did. It's been a long time.
Wow. And you're thinking, you know, Ken Singleton. I don't know if he played with Eddie Murray or not at that time. But yeah, he did. That was, wow. There's been some impressive switch hitters. That's a big feat.
Bases empty, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Zobrist. Price trying to put up a 0 for the first time tonight, a full count.
Well, he's changed his game plan. He's getting them off the hard fastball. He's usually, here's my heater, I attack you with it. We've seen the cutter more. We've seen the curveball more. He had to change up or else he was going to continue to get hammered.
Three, 2. A 2-out walk.
Well, to me, the danger pitch for David Price is that changeup. He's obviously gotten a better feel for that. He's been throwing it more and more year to year. He also gave up the most home runs on that pitch compared to his other pitches.
I know people don't like walks, but sometimes you're better off walking a guy. When Zobrist hits a home run and he took every pitch like he was going to hit it, he's on you. I take my chances. I'll go after Lorenzo Cain.
Well, Cain has reached base in 14 straight postseason games. Had his hitting streak snapped in game 5. And he's fooled here. It gets past Price, and he reaches with an infield hit.
I'd be smiling too. You couldn't have rolled that ball any better. It's a changeup coming back at Price, so he can't react to it. Once it's by him, it just dies. It's almost like a golfer just drops one on the green and watch the backspin. I want to set it right here. Now stop, sit, baby. That's what had happened. Looked like one you put on the green, Joe.
Not in the wall. 2 on, 2 out. The batter is Hosmer, who's 0 for 1. And who has 22 career postseason RBIs.
He's been money in these spots with runners on base. Check this out.
Strike 1.
And to me, Joe, this is an adverse situation. Last time Price was in this ballpark, the ball dropped in between 2 guys, and the inning got away. You know, here's a little blooper, gets in. You're going to give up home runs, but this is where he's got to stop the damage right here.
And last time in this situation, Hosmer looking away the entire at bat. If he said he pitches me inside 3 times in a row, I just tip my hat. Well, there's pitch 1 inside.
There's pitch 2 inside, and it's 0-2.
It was a remarkable approach by Hosmer. He's got the same approach here. Looking for the ball away, defending one side of the plate. And I think if I'm David Price, watching the way he reacted to this pitch, I'm going back in a 3rd time.
Well, if Hosmer's telling you that, he's talking too much. I'm not telling you anything of what I'm thinking.
Set up away, and the breaking ball misses, ball 1. See if they go back inside on 1 and 2.
That's as bad as giving up. Omaha. I ain't giving that up.
Hosmer with a chance to add to a 2-0 Game 6 lead. Chopper off the plate. This is Goins. Inning over. And a good job by David Price to get around that hit by Kane. A shake of the head. Off he goes. We go to the 4th. 2-0 Royals on top. Official caps, hoodies, jackets, and more. Celebrate with your favorite team at the MLB.com shop. 4th inning now, and the Blue Jays facing elimination tonight. And down 2-0 have the big bats. Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion against Ventura, who gave up that early double. First batter he faced. Not a base runner since, and 4 strikeouts. And this is Escobar. Hard hitting interviews. That's what we bring you. Aaron Andrews, dazzle the world.
I'm here right now with 19-year-old Caleb Humphreys from Blue Springs, Kansas, and you actually caught the reviewed home run by Mike Moustakas. Your glove was out there, and so was your brother's, Hayden's. I want you guys to show me exactly where your gloves were when you caught the ball. Right there, right?
Yes, yeah, about right.
Okay, so not over the wall, right? Not in front.
No, not over the wall at all. Just a couple inches out as we reached forward, and just kind of ended up in our glove, and we glad to be up 2-0.
When you caught the ball, tell me the first thing that entered your mind.
Is this actually happening? Is this for real? Did I really just catch a Game 6 home run ball hit by Mike Moustakas? Like, this is unreal.
And when you realized it was happening, and then they reviewed to see if you interfered with it, what then entered your mind?
Please don't. Please don't overturn. Please don't take this away from me.
Okay, and one more time to clarify, show me where your gloves were. So they weren't over the wall.
They weren't over the wall, but they were definitely behind it.
I want to tell you, Joe, when I came up to Caleb, he was shaking. You are surrounded by media. How many interviews do you think you've done already?
Too many to count, but like these fans behind me, I don't even know them, but they've been giving me a hard time, and they're awesome. This guy right here, he's my agent. This is my guy.
Don't give him any percentage. Just take it from me and the guys in the booth. Enjoy the rest of the game. Thanks for being a good sport.
Thank you so much.
All right, Joe.
Thank you, Aaron. A couple things with that. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Bautista, and that is hammered deep into left field, and the lead has been cut in half. Wow, what a bomb off the bat of Bautista to make it 2-1. And here it comes back.
No review necessary on that one. Wow, as you said, fastball count. Got the fastball up. He's been waiting all series for that pitch.
Well, they've continued to try to throw him the same way every time. He's just too good a hitter to continue to challenge. I think they're floating with fire with Encarnacion pitching him inside too.
Well, here he is, Edwin Encarnacion, home run. And that's as hard and as far as you can hit a baseball. Strike 1.
So our interviewee, his ball is the only thing separating this game right now. I'm going to tell you what, their glove is further out than that.
It was a 428-foot home run a moment ago from Bautista. There's a strike to Encarnacion. And next time we're sending a Stack of Bibles out with Aaron to see if the interviewee will.
At least the lawyer to cross-examine.
It was right here. It wasn't over the wall. 1 out, nobody on, nothing in 2. The count on Encarnacion with a run home. That's chopped to Moustakas. His home run is the difference because of this from Bautista.
Yep. Fastball up, two-seamer, too much of the plate. One of the few times Ventura has gotten behind on the count. He's done a nice job up until then, getting ahead with fastballs, using the curveball as the put away. Not that time.
So again, the difference is the ball by Moustakas. Blown up. It certainly looks like that glove is over the wall.
It's not worried.
Yes, counselor.
Oh my goodness.
2 out, nobody on, and here's a line drive into left. It will fall off the bat of Colabello, and the inning continues. Tying run is on for Toronto here in the 4th.
So aggressive on that first pitch. We talk a lot about Escobar, but Colabello doesn't let a lot of balls by him either. He is swinging at that first pitch fastball
all year long. Hit over 500 on first pitches. First time up, fouled off a pitch, first pitch. Got one he could handle this time.
Well, I thought Ventura did a nice job against Encarnacion, coming back and going to the breaking ball to get to him. Look at the run on this pitch. That ball is moving. The plate is 18 inches wide. So think about how far that ball's moving to get back to the bat there.
Well, here is Tulowitzki. Strike 1. Tulowitzki's been getting better and better. The swings have been more and more productive. He's got a home run, 7 RBIs, and it was his bases clearing double in that 4-run 6th inning against Kelvin Herrera in relief of Edinson Volquez that opened up Game 5. Timeout.
Hey, Tom, you said in Game 4 it was a race to the bullpen, that they were running out of time before they got to the pen. We're back at it again.
Back at it again, and I'll tell you, that home run ball for Toronto is better than Mom's chicken soup. Because everything just seems right when this team goes deep. They have a hard time winning games without it. But it just, Bautista's swing just makes Toronto feel completely different now. That's their game. Go long.
They're stretching a lot.
1 ball, 1 strike on Tulowitzki. He went around, strike 2. Tulowitzki wants to know on the swing or the pitch. They both look good.
Great point, Joe. Excellent point. And that's exactly what he's asking. Because he feels like he sees the ball well. So you ask to find out. He has gone away from the radar game. This kid can line it up 97, 98. We have not seen that tonight.
Well, that's a great take by Tulo, because that's the weapon with 2 strikes, the chase curveball. Tulo didn't chase.
Slide step off right there. That's what that sign is. Paying a little attention right there to the runner.
Good swing by Tulowitzki.
Now's when the guessing game is kind of back in here, because you knew once he missed with that breaking ball, he's going to come back with something hard. Now 2-2. This is the deciding pitch, I think, in the AB right here.
Well, he likes the chase breaking ball. Same side of the plate, whether it's righties or lefties. And here it comes, down and away. In on lefties, away from righties.
These Blue Jay hitters have done a lot of stepping out on Ventura.
Talk about chase breaking balls. We've seen it already 3 times tonight. Donaldson, a great hitter, can't hold up. Goins, pitch bounces in front of the plate, and then Revere. All pitches out of the strike zone. All year long, gave up only 16 hits on those 2-strike breaking balls. Now, Ventura did not like the timeout there because now they could have seen the sign from Perez there and relayed that to Tulo with the delay. Almost have to go to a different pitch.
Check swing, full count, runner will go.
And you saw how well he saw that. It's exactly where he wanted to throw it.
Well, the difference too, Tom, is Tulo did a nice job. All those breaking balls you showed there, none of them are strikes. He hasn't thrown it for a strike yet.
Yeah, the majority of his strikeouts are not in the zone. He wants you to chase.
Tying run at first. That's Colabello, and he will get a head start. Toronto's on the board. The strikeout ends the inning. An inning that saw a home run from Bautista. 2-1 after 3.5.
See that?
First pitch to Kendrys Morales in for a strike. There was a little flare up at the end of the top of this 4th inning. Royals batting leading 2-1 on the home runs by Zobrist and Moustakas. Bautista just went deep for Toronto. Big rip by Morales, 0-2. And it was Yordano Ventura who was glaring in at Troy Tulowitzki at the end of that strikeout for what we assume was the late timeout call 2 pitches previous. That's fouled right side. And here it is. Here's the step out, first of all. And that really upset Ventura for whatever reason. And then watch this. He's staring at him, and the home plate umpire, Jeff Nelson, said, "Get out of here. Don't start it up."
Nice job by Jeff Nelson there.
Strikeout starts the inning. Here's John Gibbons, manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. And we said it looked like David Price had settled into his good stuff now.
Yeah, Joey, I think he's pitching really well. You know, he gave up those 2 solo home runs early, and I mean that concerns you at first. But I think he settled in. You know, even that last inning, you know, it happened with 2 outs to walk, but you know, then he jammed Kane pretty good, and same thing with Oz. You know, so yeah, I think he's throwing the ball really well.
Got to make you feel good down there to see Bautista launch one like that.
Oh yeah, you know that is our game, no doubt about it. We like to hit him, we don't like them to hit him. So hopefully, you know, the ball's really flying today. You can tell, you know, there's a little wind out there, so I mean that could play into our favor.
Yeah, and as far as them hitting home runs, what they tell you on that ball that Moustakas hit into right center field that was reviewed?
Well, basically, you know, these guys really couldn't tell us anything. You know, it came from New York. They checked it out, and you know, I guess the railing out there set back a little bit or enough, so when he leaned over, it was going to be a home run anyway, is my understanding. So, but they took it to New York. They did the right thing, and let them make the decision.
You able to exhale down there? You having any fun whatsoever?
Oh yes, you know, I love the competition. It's not easy. It's obviously a huge game for us, but I'm feeling good right now. You know, get a big shutdown inning here after you score a run, and hopefully our bats take over.
All right, John. Thanks for the time.
Okay, guys.
David Price is 1/3 of the way to a shutdown inning. Struck out Morales to start it. Now the 1-2. 2-2 on a pitch that barely missed.
Well, David Price is on a roll right now. You put the target down, he's hitting it. Whether it's the cutter, we've watched the curveball, and now the fastball. I thought he might get that call right there, but he is in a great rhythm right now.
That's on the inside corner. Moustakas doesn't agree. 2 out.
Well, definitely a change of plans. Haven't seen the changeup since the home run. Now it's the curveball that is getting Kansas City off the fastball. Again, he doesn't have a great curveball, but this is something they're not expecting to see, and we've seen him use it both sides of the plate.
Look, I can see why pitchers like having Jeff Nelson. You throw strikes, he's giving you a call. And that's the way it should be. And the game is crisp, and they're both around the plate, and he's giving it both sides.
He's the home plate umpire. Here's Perez, strike 1. Tom, it's going to be interesting to see the next half inning. how Ventura goes out there and how he works to these Blue Jay hitters. If he can compose himself a little bit, that's really part of the objective by the Blue Jays, to step out and frustrate him here tonight.
No, I agree with that. Joe, you know, sometimes he's a guy who actually looks for something. He looks for a spark of energy to feed off. Now, you can take that too far sometimes, and that's what you're alluding to from Toronto's side. But I think he'll take any perceived slight and build it up to draw energy from it.
David Price could strike out the side, which he does. Morales, Moustakas, Perez, David Price is on a roll. And we roll into the 5th. 2-1, Kansas City on top. Two to 1 game as the 5th inning rolls in, and Yordano Ventura, the young right-hander, making his 8th career postseason start. A record of 0-1, an ERA of 6.5 coming in this postseason. Has a 1-run lead. First pitch is a ball to Russell Martin. The Toronto catchers, Martin and Navarro, are a combined 0 for 16 in this LCS. Martin 0 for 9. Up on the count here, 2-0.
You know, when you play the same team 6 times, emotions are bound to get a little high. In fact, there's a Twitter war of trash talking going on between the Kansas City Public Library and the Toronto Public Library. It's getting nasty. They're throwing around words like curmudgeon, scallywag, all kinds of polysyllabic words.
Right.
Calm down, librarians.
Oh, man.
Well, here's Ventura after that strikeout to end the 4th. The guide one in at 95 for strike 1, 3-1. Martin hit 23 home runs during the regular season. And it's a walk to start the inning. First walk handed out by Ventura here tonight. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by the Quesarito and Volcano Quesarito Big Boxes. Grab them at Taco Bell. By Budweiser, make a plan to make it home. And by Cricket Wireless, something to smile about. Tying run is on, nobody out. Kevin Pillar stands in.
This is where the Blue Jays make their move, at the bottom of this order, get it to the top. This is a good timeout right here, good conversation, because clearly Ventura's not in the rhythm. A lot of times when you find a guy in a great groove like Ventura's been, and you saw how it disrupted him stepping out. Used to be you drop a bunt, get him to move or something. Well, they'll play that way. So you step out of the box. And even though he got 2 low out last half inning, it benefited him. And right now he's not in his rhythm.
Pillar lined out to Hosmer his first time. There's a show of a bunt, and now Ventura's fallen behind 2-0.
That's, I'm taking a pitch, I'm going to make you throw one, so let me go ahead and just disrupt one. May as well track a ball, but square around.
And you talk about making moves, time to get on the phone and get the bullpen ready. You said Ned Yost wanted 5 innings from Ventura. Right now, that may be in doubt.
Tying run on, 2-0 pitch. Strike 1. Talk about the strike zone tonight. There have been 10 strikeouts in this game to this point. Half have been called third strikes.
I wonder if they try to get a little hit and run or something working.
That's ball 3.
Remember, Joe, it's the bottom of the order that's done most of the damage for Toronto in this series. And really, their catalyst getting things going.
3-1. Back-to-back walks. And we'll see if that draws Dave Island, the pitching coach, out of the dugout for Kansas City. Coach Haver is up. And here comes Dave Island. as he makes his way out there. We remind you, tomorrow it's a full day of college football across the Fox networks, highlighted by a Pac-12 showdown on Fox as third-ranked Utah takes on USC. It's all Saturday on FS1, Fox, the Big Ten Network, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
It's a trap game for Utah, man. SC went through that coaching change, battled Notre Dame. It was okay the first week. Second week, we'll see what happens. They're loaded. That's a talented club.
So college football tomorrow, and if necessary, a Game 7 here tomorrow night. It would be Stroman and Cueto. Hochaver getting loose, and they have bought as much time as they can. Now here's the number 9 man, Goins, and he's up there to put pressure on this good Kansas City defense on the infield.
Yeah, agreed. I got to put the ball on the ground here with a bunt.
Yeah, I almost think take a strike because he's been struggling so bad, and then you bunt. Let's see what he can do.
Lead runner is Martin, the catcher, at second. Swinging, or at least showing no sign of a bunt. Strike one. See if they change up.
I think if you have confidence that Goins can handle the bat, now you go ahead and put that down.
Moustakas in at third, Hosmer in at first. 0-1 pitch. There it is. And it is foul for strike two.
That's the trouble with taking that first pitch strike. Yeah. He's a good bunter, as you said. I'm sure he's disappointed himself. One shot to get it down. It didn't work.
Well, he tried to get too fine, and this is a great field to bunt on. You got all the grass. See, if you look down the dirt line, there's a lot of grass. All you got to do is put the ball on the grass. It's going to die. For him, he put it right on the dirt. Now, if you're bunting for a base hit, you either bunt it fair or foul. But in this case, you want to put that ball down. And if it stays on the grass, you got the man over to third.
I just don't like taking when it's an obvious bunt situation. You're not fooling anybody. If it's a ball, let it go. That was a strike.
They take the bunt off. Ball one, down and away. Royals not completely sure, as they still have the corners of the infield pinched in. Good swing by Goins, who's been impressive in this LCS. He's 5 for 17.
Well, you're right, Joe. This is a guy who was 0 for 17 in the division series. Swinging the bat much better and really grinding out of bats. We've seen big two-strike hits from Ry Goins.
Ventura has struck out 5. He's walked his first 2 in this inning back-to-back.
Slide step right there. I think you got to get in on Goins. We watched him hit the double down the line here in Kansas City. I know he hit the home run to right center field in Toronto, but this park is so big. I think you got to bust him in if you want to have a chance to maybe get it out here.
Yeah, I think you got to throw that chase curveball and trust Perez to block it with the 2 runners on.
Fly ball into right center field. Kane makes the catch. The runners stay put. 1 out, and a strong throw from Lorenzo Kane.
And a great pitch from Ventura. Down in the count, you know he's trying to make contact. And he's not going to drive a baseball. Ball starts to go in, it runs away, he tries to hook it.
Center fielder taking charge, and then he just came up and fired a laser back into the infield.
He did. And hit the cutoff man.
Now runners at first and second, 1 out. Back to the top of the order, and Ben Revere. Strike one.
Tell you, the 9-hitter in the American League, that's one of those situations you got to move the runner. And that's what you needed right there. That was a big out that they were able to get with nobody advancing.
That's in the air to left. Back to grab it is Gordon. 2 down. And now a battle between Ventura and Donaldson with 2 on, 2 out. Perez will go out and talk, and I'll go back to what you said, Tom. It's interesting, though, Harold, you were thinking along the same lines as John Gibbons.
Yeah.
With Ventura struggling with his control, take a pitch, take a strike. Well, that gave Goins only one real chance to get the bunt down. He didn't do it, then didn't advance the runners. That is a big out and a missed opportunity here for Toronto in the 5th.
Yeah, I think it comes down to knowing your personnel. I mean, obviously, I thought he could get it down. John Gibbons must have too. But you look back at it, you say, yeah, give him 2 shots to do it. It's probably the best way to conventionally do it. But I saw him struggling out there on the mound as well.
Here's Donaldson. That's caught. Moustakas with a diving grab. And Donaldson could not have hit it any harder. What a catch. Blue Jays have stranded 4 halfway through game number 6. 2-1 Kansas City. David Price has settled into a nice groove as he finds strike 1 on Alex Gordon.
Well, what's so impressive about David Price, I think in all the games he's battled in these postseasons, this is the best lineup he's had to face, 1 through 9. They don't strike out much, and he's got it working. We watched an in-game adjustment he had to make. They were all over the fastball early, and by going to that breaking pitch, now it opened the fastball back up for him.
Still 0-2.
Yeah, you saw Gordon take that curveball. That's been the difference. They're not even swinging at the curveball. Used to seeing the changeup to get off the fastball. Again, no changeup since the home run by Moustakas.
Ventura just got around back-to-back walks in a 1-run game in the 5th inning of a game 6 without allowing anybody to score. A strikeout starts the inning. And Price has now struck out 4 straight.
Again, what happens when you get that curveball, now that fastball, it gets faster to the hitter. It just doesn't give you the same thing to react on. That's 96 now, and it's not coming in where it's 96 and they're anticipating it. Now it's jumping on the hitter because he's opened the whole game up. Now you got 3 pitches to protect on, and David Price has changed his game.
Number 9 man is Rios, and there's the breaking ball, strike 1.
Now the Royals will have to adjust. All takes on the curveball so far.
Good pitch down and in, strike 2.
He's got it all working. That's the cutter right there.
Wow.
Ball moving. You know, for the Royals, you still try to hit off that fastball. And yeah, you got to tip your cap if he's able to throw his curveball for that many strikes.
Rios fouled out to right his first time up. This lineup is so good and so balanced left and right all the way through. Tough to navigate. Price is finding his way. That's down the line. It is foul.
See, you only hit that ball if you're looking heater. His fastball's too good to not think fastball and adjust. Right here, they tried to get inside on Rios, and he just missed hitting it fair.
I know the fans love and they go ooh and ah, but that's not the kind of foul ball that deters a pitcher. Threw the pitch where he wanted it, far enough inside so that he could not keep it fair.
Changed.
So there it was. Wouldn't say it was his better ones, but has to at least show it again.
Back.
That's into center field off the end of the bat. A 1-out single. Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by DirecTV, now part of the AT&T family. Breezy night. 70 degrees at the start of the game here on the 23rd of October. Kids can only hope on Halloween it's this warm.
Oh, you're not kidding.
So can parents. 1 on, 1 out for Escobar, hitless tonight. He's due. Strike 1.
We will be in New York City at Citi Field Halloween. Is that game 3 or game 4? National League beat game 4. National League home park. The Mets are in the series.
Daniel Murphy's homered in 6 straight.
Well, that's Babe Murphy to the rest of us.
Rolling.
1 on, 1 out. Strike 2. We'll look at the Mets for a moment. Murphy, there's that line. That's a baseball record. Duda had 5 RBIs in the clincher game 4, went deep, and Familia. How about the transformation for the closer, Tom, for the New York Mets?
I mean, he's got a split. He throws 93 miles an hour, and he has been pounding the strike zone. He can get you more than 3 outs.
World Series starts on Tuesday in the American League City on Fox. Here's the 0-2 to Escobar. Ball 1.
You know, the other thing with this Royal team, they all run so well that the double play ball doesn't really get you out of a lot of jams where you say, okay, these guys are sluggish, I can get a double play, get me out of here. He's got to hit a ball sharp, and it's going to have to be at somebody to turn 2. So that keeps them going as well.
The Blue Jays in the 6th inning, either against Ventura or somebody out of the bullpen for Kansas City. Will have Bautista, Encarnacion, and Colabello. Right now it's 2-1, 1 on, 1 out, and a 2-2 count on Escobar. 2 out. And that's 7 strikeouts, and the last 5 outs picked up by David Price via the strikeout.
That cutter has been absolutely filthy. Look at this, continue to run in on the hands of Escobar. Can't throw that one any better.
Well, and you see Escobar go out to get it. The thing about the cutter, it looks like the fastball, so you go to get it, and the next thing you know, it's underneath your hands or off your knuckles, breaking your back.
Here's Zobrist, who popped one in the 1st inning. Ball 1 outside.
Well, let's go. In the 1st inning, let's go back to Zobrist's home run. Let's do a stat cast. Goes off the bat 99 miles an hour. And he got just enough of it to put it over the wall.
367 feet. StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services. Runner goes. Throw down. Too late. Stolen base. Alex Rios.
How rare is that, Joe? First stolen base allowed by David Price all year. He had thrown the most innings since 1968 without a stolen base. I'm telling you, they're running first move right there. That is great scouting on the Royals' part. David Price, you see Rios break. As soon as he begins to go to the plate, Alex Rios takes off. This is what they did in game 2 with Eric Hosmer at first base. Price thought it was a double play.
They may want to give it a look. Foot is on, the tag is on the hand, and they're going to give this a look.
Didn't they get Rios already?
On the pop-up
When he
slide.
popped up the bag, they tagged him and got the review.
Let's watch the left hand. Nothing definitive. The call on the field is stolen base.
If he'd have left it on him again, Joe, Alex Rios has got to figure this out come spring training. He'll pop off the bag again. If you leave the tag on him, he's going to come off the base. That's not the case here because they didn't leave the tag on him long enough. But the shot, watch this. He'll pop off the base for you once again. And right there. If you would have left it on him, he likes to change feet, he would have been out. He's got to work on that. He'll go in with the left foot, but he likes to pop up and go to the right. He sticks it. Now he's in the air. And when he's switching feet, if you leave it on him, he's going to be out. He's got to change that.
Did you see anything, Tom, that would turn the call?
The issue here is, did he get the hand on the tag before Rios hit the bag? And once again, I'm not sure it's clear and convincing. Worth the challenge for sure. That's a huge 90 feet right there.
Well, you're looking at 2-0 count with a runner at second base and Zobrist, who's already homered. Yeah, that's a big out. But again, Joe, what we're seeing is that first call is so important because it's hard to overturn if there's not convincing evidence to overturn it.
And I'm with Tom. I think this falls into that category again.
If we look at these replays and study them in New York, they can blow them up as well.
Stolen base.
See, and I think the one thing here, too, it almost gives David Price a TO. He was struggling a little bit. You had the momentum. You sneak a stolen base. You're there. You're ready to go. Keep the game going. Zobrist is 2-0. It gave him plenty of time to sit back and compose himself a little bit.
It also gave time for Herrera to get loose. 2-0 the count. Runner at second, 2 out. Strike one.
When you think about all the scouting that goes into a series like this, Kansas City, Tim Conroy, Paul Gibson have been on Toronto for the last 6-7 weeks. Those are the little things that can win you a series, to pick up tendencies like that. Running first move on David Price. They had his lack of a pickoff move.
Zobrist is jammed. The pop-up. Goins is there, and the inning is over. And that keeps Game 6 as a one-run affair. Into the 6th inning we go. 2-1. Kansas City on top. Yordano Ventura, the 24-year-old, got the ball tonight. Game 6 of the ALCS. Looking for his first win this postseason, second of his young career. Leading 2-1 into the 6th inning, and there is not a lot of rope for Ventura. Herrera is up. He's ready to go if anything starts for Toronto. Bautista, Encarnacion, and Colabello.
This is batter by batter. If a runner gets on, he's probably out of the game. But the problem is, look at this guy's numbers against Ventura. You're defending the home run right here, not the single.
And you're going to do it now because it's 1-0, and you just threw him a breaking ball. So what's Bautista sitting on? A heater inside.
Hit a tape measure shot his last time up. That is hammered. Wow, what a bomb off the bat of Bautista. His first of this series, his third of this postseason. Here's a 1-1. Ball 2.
He's feeling it. He's seeing him pretty good.
We've seen that count before. Can't give in here. Bautista clearly sees the ball extremely well against Ventura.
Got under it. Flies it into center. Bautista hangs his head. 1 out. He'd like to have that back.
Sure would. The ball's just up in the zone enough for him to pop it up. That ball ran up. Had it been down, look at him. That's when you know you missed one.
Encarnacion as Ventura just walked a tightrope. Made it to the other side. Now he's walking back. And facing Encarnacion. He fouls it back here. Strike one. Edwin's been bothered by the strain in the middle finger on his left hand. He's looking at that defense. Swung around playing him to pull. Hosmer's got a long run just to get to the first base bag.
These lineups make you work, man. And I know they'd come up swinging at that first pitch, but it puts so much pressure on the pitcher. He's worried about the first pitch, not even the second or third.
Pitch number 77 for Giordano is hit in the air to left field. That ball's going to get down. It will be cut off by Kane, but a double with one out. There's the tying run for Toronto.
And he has been throwing a steady diet of fastballs to Eddie Encarnacion throughout this series, game 2, and again tonight. Tripled up on it right there. Too good of a hitter.
And that's it. Ventura will leave with a tying run in scoring position. And the first out of the bullpen for Kansas City will be Kelvin Herrera. Two to one in the 6th inning of game 6.
This was after the timeout from Tulo. Ventura stood him down. And look at Dave Leeper, the first base coach. Now Ventura walking off the field. He's got a message to deliver. It wasn't only just that, it was the dugout as well of the Royals. They've been on him throughout this series about possibly giving signs to hitters.
Well, the reason they have that box is that because of this reason. They want him in the box. And that's why you have that, so that that coach has no vantage point.
Well, here's Kelvin Herrera, tying run at second. Good breaking ball, strike one on Colabello.
Yeah, good idea, Joe. He's been pouring in first pitch fastballs every time. Nice to get him off the heater.
Back to Leeper with not in the box. That'll be the next thing they start yakking about, is get you in the box.
Colabello could tie it with a hit.
Is that respect or what? This guy throws 100 miles an hour with his fastball, and he comes in and throws 2 sliders in a row.
Colabello, when you combine his regular season with this postseason, he's hit .318 all in all year. Tonight 1 for 2.
To me, the difference in the series, Joe, is Toronto's inability to hit with runners on base. Yeah, we know they have power. 0 for 7 today with runners on base. They're hitting .175 in the series with runners on base. A single will do.
Here's a 1-1. Breaking ball misses inside. And Colabello has yet to see a fastball. 2-1.
Well, he's got to be careful, too, because Tulowitzki's sitting on deck behind him, who had the last time he faced him had a bases clearing double.
He's creeping in there off the on-deck circle. The 2-1. Broken bat. Sounded like 2-2.
100 miles an hour.
That'll break the bat.
Some firewood right there.
I think I said Dave Leeper before. It's Tim Leeper, of course. And some of the things that first base coaches get accused of is actually walking out towards first base to get a better angle at signs. And either by the way they stand in the box or perhaps whistling, they can relay something to the hitter. I'm not saying that's going on. I'm just saying the Jays have a reputation for it, so everyone is always on the lookout.
Well, those are the things that really happen a lot in minor league. See, they're moving him back into the box right now, or maybe not, but that's a lot of minor league stuff. Because there's so many people yelling in the big leagues, it's more code, how you stand, where I might stand, or whatever, than more so than whistling. Can't hear him.
Here comes a 2-2 to Colabello. Struck him out, 2 down. Woo.
Tell you get the thought of the breaking ball in the hitter's head, and that fastball I know this is 100 miles an hour and it's going to be by him, but it becomes 105 when you got that other thought in your mind.
Rodano Ventura, the starter, watching now with the rest of us. 1 on, 2 out. The batter is Tulowitzki. Could tie it with a hit. And that breaking ball stays up and in. Tulowitzki tonight 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout.
This is the at-bat for me. This is the matchup, because if you fall behind like they have already, Russell Martin's been struggling. If I'm Kansas City, I take my chances with Russell Martin.
Popped into right center. And the first guy out from behind the wall, Kevin Herrera, forces this Toronto team to go 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position tonight in Game 6. Kelvin Herrera, the first of a few coming out of that pen. He starts out well. David Price, who's gotten on a roll. He struck out 7. Trying to keep it a 1-run game. 2-1 Kansas City on top. Trying to repeat as American League champions with a win here tonight. Ball 1 inside to Lorenzo Cain, 1 for 2. Fisted one for a hit. Stayed on the infield past Price's last time. 2-0.
Tell you, he was on a great roll again, wasn't he, David Price? I know he's 2-0 to this hitter, but man, he has kept this game. It looked like he was in trouble early, and I love the in-game adjustment. This kept him around.
Cain, 16 home runs during the regular season. Takes a strike, and Tom Verducci, we were talking in our open about this matchup, and you said that David Price could not be the first pitcher to leave this game, and it was Ventura, not Price.
Yeah, listen, he's pitched great. He's been on point really throughout the game. Maybe 2 mistakes, the cutter and change for the home runs. But Joe, he's a guy, when you look at that record, the only pitcher in baseball history to lose his first 7 starts in the postseason. But in those 7 starts, he's had a total of 12 runs to work with. It's been the same story tonight into the 6th.
The 2-2 pitch. Cain to Tulowitzki. 1 out. There have been 30 postseason games so far. Only 2 one-run games. We have one tonight. Our game summary brought to you by Budweiser. Rodano Ventura got into the 6th inning. In line for the win if the Royals hang on. David Price is settled in. Zobrist and Moustakas solo shots. Bautista 1 for Toronto. And here's the difference in the game right now. Ruled a home run. They looked at it. So there was not definitive proof to overturn the call on the field. And so the home run stood. It was 2-0, now 2-1.
Seems like the more you see that, the more you see it looks like it hits his glove on the wall.
Wow.
The media frenzy has died around that guy out in right center field. The count 0-1. It's our friend Caleb Humphreys out there. 0-2 on Eric Hosmer, who just unloaded on that 0-1 pitch.
Yeah, it's interesting, Tom. You know, he'd been inside with him the last at bat, punched him out. We were talking about pitching him in. Threw a cutter first pitch, then the curveball in. I wonder if David Price goes back outside now. He sees Hosmer start to look in a little bit more. Cutter away. That's a tough pitch for a left-hander. It's starting at the plate and running from you with some velocity. What's the run on this ball? Starts it and starts to run. Now you have to try to man up, so to speak, and stay in there thinking that ball is going to be off my shoulder, and it starts to run. It's a tough pitch for a lefty to hit.
To me, he's got him set up for the fastball in. Eric likes the ball away. And there it is. He's a guy who loves to get those long arms extended. His power is the other way. It's not to the pull field. To me, you have to make him conscious inside, make him pull the ball.
I'd throw that cutter started off the plate and let him chase it.
Counts 0-2. 2 out. Strikeout number 8.
He had him set up for a number of pitches. That fastball in just locks you up, and then he comes back with a curveball. So he saw some tough pitches. Right here, he's going to get this hook, but he threw him the cutter that ran. He threw him a fastball in and gets him with the hook.
Let him get on top of this breaking ball, the pronation of the arm. Maybe not where he wanted it, but you see he's got Hosmer beat on it.
Here's Morales. Back to game 2, and David Price giving up that leadoff hit to Escobar, retiring 18 straight. Then a ball fell in and right, and it all fell apart. Tonight, pitching really well and keeping his team in it, down by 1 as Morales takes ball 2.
I think we're seeing an ace tonight. You know, he's got everything working, and that's what you want. You got to show up and bring your game. A couple home runs, the difference.
Popped up a mile high in foul territory. Coming together, Martin and Donaldson. It's Russell Martin, the catcher, who makes the catch. And another quick inning and a 1-2-3 frame for David Price. 7th inning now. The Royals have dipped into their bullpen as we go to the 7th. 2-1, Royals on top. What's it going to be in the 7th inning of game 6? 2-1. Royals lead it. Trying to get back to the World Series for the 2nd consecutive year. Look at that good breaking ball from Herrera. Inside corner, strike 1 to Martin, who is 0 for 1 tonight, 0 for 9 in the series, and there's the line score. Martin and Pilar, then Goins, bottom 3 in the lineup. 100 from Herrera. Just routine triple digits, ball 1.
Ned Yost, once he takes Ventura out of the game, has 11 outs to cover. Not Hochevar, the first guy out. You said, Joe, it's Herrera. Only pitched more than 1 inning 4 times all year, but it's a very well-rested bullpen. Going for the jugular.
Strike 2.
And that goes for Wade Davis as well. Available for as many as 6 outs if you had to.
He hasn't pitched since game 2, since Saturday. They could have saved his meal money in Toronto and left him here. 1-2, the count. Crowd wants a strikeout. Herrera and the Royals just want an out. Herrera and the Royals get their wish. 1 down. And Russell Martin was yelling at himself the whole way down the line. Official caps, hoodies, jackets, and more. Celebrate with your favorite team at the MLB.com shop. One out, nobody on here in the 7th. Pilar. He has homered once this postseason. 0 for 1 tonight. Hit it hard, lined out his first time and then walked. That was against Ventura. Ball 1.
Well, they've had 2 big opportunities tonight. The leadoff double in the 1st inning by Rivera, nothing out of it. 1st and 2nd after the back-to-back walks, Ventura issued Pilar one of them, and the Goins bunt went foul, and they got nothing out of that inning. That's 98 to 100 with movement. Incredible.
Strike 2. To me, I've always felt like late in the game with your bullpen, The things that really kill you are the free bases, the bases on balls, and the home run ball. It's tough to put together 3-4 hits in a row with velocity and bullpens these days. Herrera has allowed only 5 home runs all year. Davis only 3.
Slicing to right. 2 out as Rios puts it away. How about the numbers for the big 4 in the bullpen for Kansas City? Hochevar, more a middle inning reliever. Madsen, who we may see before the end of the night. Herrera, who's out there now. And Wade Davis is just about a lock to pitch here tonight.
The Royals have turned baseball upside down, building a pitching staff from the back forward.
Strike 1 on Goins. Good swing, but 99 from Herrera.
Well, we've seen it with a couple teams in the past. Tony La Russa did that with his Oakland A's back in the Eckersley day. You know, he had his guys he'd go to, Honeycutt, Nelson, to Eck. And obviously we saw with Joe Torre getting the ball to Rivera, but not 4 or 5 guys. And that's the difference with the Royals. They go 4, even 5 guys deep in the pen if they need to. And that's what you mean, right, Tom? Turn it upside down.
Yeah, I mean, listen, even 5 years ago, you would never say, I'll take 5 innings from my starting pitchers. Royals can say that every night.
2-1. The formula would be if Yost goes there, Herrera now, Madsen in the 8th, Davis in the 9th. 2 out, nobody on. I don't know how you take this guy out of the game.
I don't think he's gonna. I think he goes Herrera as long as until you're in trouble, and here comes Davis.
How about this crowd? It's as loud outside as it was inside in Toronto. And that's saying something.
Well, they do have one of the records in football next door in that loud stadium.
Goins trying to find one here against Herrera with a count full. 2 out. Inning over. Mid-7th, and we join public address announcer Mike McCartney for the introduction of God Bless America.
Fans, let's pause to celebrate our freedom and those who work to defend it. Please join us in singing God Bless America, being performed by Lauren Brayton.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet
That home run by Mike Moustakas back in the second inning is the difference in this game. And Moustakas leads it off here against David Price, who is plowing through this Royal lineup. First pitch is strike. We understand rain is on the way. One ball, one strike. It's raining at the airport. Evidently, they are right now forecasting the rain to hit about 45 minutes from now.
Figured out a way to silence me, Joe. The rain's coming. No, please.
Here comes a 1-1. Shattered back. Fly ball, center field, base hit. And Moustakas is 2 for 3. And now we welcome you inside our broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck. That is Harold Reynolds. That's Tom Verducci. We could talk about a lot of things. We just got the broken bat base hit. But how about the bullpen for Kansas City? It looks like Kelvin Herrera is finished as Ryan Madsen is getting loose out there right now.
Yeah, his season high is 2 innings. Herrera, he's only done that once. You know, this has been their formula, but I guarantee you this. Any runner gets on base, the closer, Wade Davis, is in the game. He can get more than 3 outs, even as many as 6.
And that's why these insurance runs, these add-on runs with the Royals are so important. This has been a tight ball game. Look, David Price has given them the battle. Here we are in that 7th inning. It's so tough to go through a lineup 3 times. And we'll see as they start to move back to the top of the order again.
Aaron Sanchez getting loose for Toronto. Salvador Perez at the plate.
Been swinging first pitch all series.
Well, this is the one guy, if you're David Price, I'm looking to get a double play ball out of it. It can be your friend right now.
There he is, first pitch swinging, strike 1. And just to reiterate, as you look at the weather, the humidity, cooler breeze is blowing in right now as we sit here. Rain expected at 10 p.m. So they moved it up. One on, nobody out. The 0-1. That's strike 2. But it's worth bringing up again, something we all became well aware of back in 2008, that they will play a full 9 innings.
Yes. Well, I think the one thing here, if you're thinking about rain, you've now got both starters deep into the game. This isn't the first or second inning and you lose your starting pitcher.
Here comes an 0-2 to Perez.
And you did that so well, Joe. I was waiting for the 5-day forecast.
No, I'm not qualified. Forecast got better and better, and tonight, until the rain hits, if it does come, has been the most pleasant night of this series. 70 at the start.
See, we talked about the read on David Price. He threw to first base only 5 times all season. Another reason why you can gamble going first pitch. I don't think Moose is going anywhere. Not at this point.
Interesting that it was a little flare into right that started the undoing for David Price in the 7th inning on Saturday. A broken bat base hit into center here tonight by Moustakas. And Perez hooks it down the line, foul.
You know, it's interesting watching David Price, and the great ones are like this, and he's in that category for me. His demeanor never changes. You don't know if he's given up 5 home runs or he struck out 5 in a row. And that's what you want. You know, you want a guy that he's either got 5 hits or he's got no hits, and you want to see the same out of him every time. And David Price has delivered that for me, watching his body language throughout.
Great point, and I love what he did right there. Nobody had to go to the mound. He just had a meeting with himself on the mound.
That was the work of Salvador Perez, stepping out to tie his shoelace, and now he gets back in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Moustakas at first. That's into left field. Back is Revere. He leaps and he catches it. Back to first is Moustakas. The throw there. Safe because Colabello dropped it. The first base umpire was about to ring him up. Colabello thought he had it, but he did not. And it's 1 on, 1 out. What a play by Revere.
I mean, this is a great play. And then watch the relay. He gets this ball back in. And once Tulowitzki caught the ball, I've watched Revere do this a couple times, bring this back, but I love his presence of mind to come up with a strong throw back. And I'm telling you, once Tulo caught it, I thought for sure it was going to be a double play.
What an amazing catch. The way he just turned and ran to a spot when the ball was hit enabled him to get back there so quickly. And then the leap.
He wouldn't have been safe anyway. Great play, huh?
Unbelievable. If the Blue Jays come back to win this game, that's the play of the night. Outside, ball 1. You fall obviously any deeper into a hole against this Royals bullpen, your odds are really diminished. And that play by Revere, I don't think that ball was going out, but that was going to rattle around. And Moustakas was just able to get back to first. What a catch. Gordon takes ball 2 inside 2-0.
You know, the other thing is that ball didn't look like he hit it that well. You talk about the wind blowing. That's what makes this even a better play. As an outfielder, you're reading swings. He was out in front of that.
Cut his arm on that chain link fence out in left. That was Pilar offering his sleeve. Here's a 2-0. Strike 1.
That cutter has changed the game for David Price. It's kept the hitters off balance, particularly the left-handers, compared to early in the game.
Right side. What a play by Goins. How about the defense in the inning by Toronto? Down to second, Moustakas, but 2 out.
Well, I've marveled at this kid the whole series, and one of the top defenders in baseball. This ball's hit hard by Alex Gordon. It looks like it was going to get through. And this is tremendous range. He's playing double play depth. He still goes back and gets it. And just the thought, no play at second. I only got 1. Gets to the knee, takes his time. Beautiful.
That's going to be it for David Price. And that means that David Price will head into free agency with a career postseason starting pitching record of 0-7. Can't get the win here tonight, but boy, did he pitch well. Sanchez takes over for Toronto. Like choosing a 2015 Silverado today. Chevrolet is proud to be the official vehicle of Major League Baseball. As Price was walking off, I talked about the 0-7 record because he cannot get a win here tonight. He would have another chance at a postseason start here in 2015 if the Blue Jays come back tonight, win this game, and then win Game 7 tomorrow night. Here's Sanchez, strike 1, and if they do, in my opinion, it will be that play by Ben Revere for the first out here in this 7th inning, and then to a lesser degree the play by Goins to his left to take one away from Gordon. The defense really helping David Price here in the 7th. The batter is Rios. The count is 0-2 as Sanchez has come in throwing strikes.
Yeah, it's not a stretch to say that this saved a run, because if it hits the wall, it's going to bounce away from a player who just leapt into the wall. Moustakas was all the way towards second base. And this one obviously saves a hit from going to the outfield, probably first and third. Two huge defensive plays.
Now the bullpen is quiet for Kansas City. Madsen was up. And right now, nobody is getting loose.
Russell Martin called a timeout there. Just kind of moving Moustakas back to the bag. He was getting too big of a lead. You got no chance of throwing him out. See where he's looking right now. Now he's saying, hey, let's get in the rhythm. Let's go.
Now time called by Martin at the plate.
Yeah, the numbers we talked about, Rios on Price, strongly in favor of Rios, but most of that damage early in his career when he started 7 for 10. Small sample size on Sanchez, 2 for 2. Sinker ball pitcher, good low ball hitter. I think the breaking ball may be in order here, Joe.
Steve Horn, our editorial consultant, brought up during the break that with this impending rain coming, does that affect when you go to the next piece in the bullpen, or maybe a Wade Davis? Here comes an 0-2 pitch. Runner at second, 2 out, way outside, ball 1.
Well, it affects. It depends on when the rain hits. I guess that's the best way to put it. If you're mid-inning, or if you haven't started an inning, you just back it off and wait. Hopefully, we won't get there. Maybe it blows by us.
Runner at second, 2 out, the 1-2 pitch from Sanchez is hammered into left. Here comes Moustakas. That is a big run scoring. It's 3-1.
Saying the breaking ball's in order, and they came back with a heater. And Alex Rios was ready. The other thing they did, we haven't seen a lot of balls in. He went in instead of being able to bury one away. It's a big hit.
Paulo Orlando comes in to pinch run, and then he'll stay in the game and play right. That's been the late inning approach by Ned Yost. Madsen is up again, as we showed you, and all 3 runs are charged to David Price. In 6 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, a walk, 2 home runs.
I was just going to say, don't be surprised you don't see a stolen base right here. I was so impressed watching him run the bases in Toronto. As big as he is, this guy can fly. And they've been very aggressive in taking that base when you don't expect them to run.
This will be a time to do it with Escobar at the plate. He gets one into left field for a base hit.
Joe, I've said it throughout the series, the difference between these two teams hitting with runners on base. Rios with a 2-strike, 2-out single. Escobar keeps the line moving with a single. The toughest team to put away in baseball. This is how they roll.
Here comes Pete Walker, the pitching coach. As the switch hitting Ben Zobrist will be at the plate with 2 on and 2 out.
I mean, you look at this lineup for Kansas City, you have no idea if you're at the top of the lineup, the middle of the lineup, or the bottom of the lineup. It makes no difference. Tough outs galore.
We talked about this the other night. You'd be hard-pressed to find a lineup 1 through 9 as dangerous as this Royals team in a postseason series. Maybe the Yankees when they had Brocious down at the bottom, but they just keep coming. 2 on, 2 out. Zobrist to the right side. That will quiet the crowd, but the Royals get a run. Lead by 2. 8th inning rolls in game 6. Kansas City 6 outs away defensively from stamping their ticket to the World Series. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home by DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. And by Chevrolet. Find new roads. 8th inning rolls in, and we were on it. Tom Verducci. Here's Ryan Madson, but he needs to only peek over his shoulder out into the Royals bullpen to find Wade Davis getting loose. 3-1 game. Top of the order for the Blue Jays. Revere takes a ball inside. And if I'm Toronto, the hitters in this Blue Jays lineup make something happen against Madson. Herrera's out of the ball game, and Wade Davis has yet to come in. 2-0.
Have to be very disciplined. Always have to, but especially now. Cannot chase anything. Patience in order.
What a play Revere made in the bottom of the 7th. That leaping catch up against that chain link fence in front of the Royals bullpen. Madson needs to throw a strike.
Good take, make them work. Now, hey, if you're Toronto and they told you before the game, David Price is going to come out of the game in the 7th and he's only going to give up 2 runs, would you have taken that? You're thinking your offense is going to get you some runs. You're going to win that game. Pitching from the Royals has just been nasty.
This is going to be tough. Escobar, no chance, base hit. And there's action for the Blue Jays in the 8th.
It's a great call, Joe. I mean, you look where the third baseman's at. As soon as it's over his head, there's no play. Escobar makes it close, but that Ben Revere, that is a plan of his. I want to shoot it towards that third baseman. It worked out. Great call, Joe. You saw it immediately.
Well, now Donaldson. And here's a guy at the plate who hit 41 home runs during the regular season, who could tie this game with 1 swing. Davis in the bullpen. Madson on the mound. The right guys coming up, starting with Donaldson. 96 for ball 1.
Falling behind again. You know, without that tack-on run there, you might have seen Davis right here. If it was a 2-1 ball game. He's 1 runner away from coming in.
Well, on a night where the ball is really jumping, we have seen some batted balls that didn't feel like they were that well hit, carry to the wall or out. Tying run at the plate. Strike 2. Geico in-game box score. Not much to support David Price. Revere, however, has his 2nd hit, and he's on. A home run in this game by Bautista for the only run so far for Toronto. Here's a 1-2. Got him looking one away.
Looked like the first pitch of the at-bat was this pitch. He missed with the first pitch of the AB, and right here, this just painted on the corner. Looking to go outside and gets the run back over. Not much you can do with that. You think it's a ball, you give up before you look back. It's 96 and it's on the corner.
Now it's Bautista. check swing. That is a foul ball. And I guarantee you, Tom, I know what you're thinking. Ned Yost, his mind is whirring right now. I'm not saying worrying, but it is moving. And there's part of him that says, I'm going to go get 17 to face Bautista.
Agreed. Bautista does have a couple of home runs off Davis, but Madsen has not gone to his best pitch, the changeup. And I think that fooled Donaldson. Changeup, of course, if you hang it, is a home run pitch.
Here's the 0-1. That is hit down the line and left into the corner, and this game is tied. It's a 3-3 game here in the 8th inning, and Bautista's got 2 tonight. And he finally breaks through with the long ball here in this ALCS 2 times. And it's 3-3.
He's had some good swings all night, and you saw it coming the other day in Toronto. But no swing bigger than this one.
Now it's Encarnacion. Ball 1. So not only is Herrera out of the game after pitching an inning and 2/3 and being perfect, Davis is standing in the bullpen while Ryan Madsen gives up the game-tying 2-run shot. Now ball 2.
Yeah, I was watching Davis warm up, and I didn't know if he'd already got himself hot and he was cooling down. Now obviously he's not throwing as much, but boy, that's one you're going to shake your head on. But saving grace for the Royals, now the score's tied.
Well, here's a 2-0. 2-1.
But and Ned will be questioning that for a little while to come.
No doubt. 2 home runs tonight off high fastballs over the plate. Right in his wheelhouse.
Bautista doing his thing. 2 home runs tonight. Hit 40 during the regular season. Now ball 3 is upstairs to Encarnacion.
Clutch homer. But it's hard to get through this lineup. It's just like the Royals, we've been praising their lineup. When you have this much power and that much firepower, those are stress pitches. You have to be perfect every pitch. It's tough to do.
That's strike 2.
This crowd is stunned, Joe. Still on their feet. Not used to seeing this out of this Kansas City bullpen.
Two Jose Bautista home runs. The big one here in the 8th. And a walk follows it.
Well, you want to go back to the home run? She doesn't, but we will. Here it is right here. Trying to set up outside the ball, runs back over the plate high, and he jumps a high heater at 96. And he knew the minute he touched it off, it was gone. Only question was, is it going to stay fair?
And that's going to be it for Madsen. Bautista has tied it. And the reaction from Ned Yost. So Herrera taken out for Madsen. Madsen gives it up. Now it's Davis in the game here in the 8th. Inning. He allowed a leadoff hit, albeit a chopper. An infield hit, then a strikeout. And then Jose Bautista did his thing, a 2-run shot to make it 3-3, a walk. The go-ahead run is on with 1 out. The batter, Colabello. Strike 1 as Wade Davis makes his first appearance in this LCS since Saturday. His last 12 postseason appearances. He's 2-0, 3 for 3 in save chances. That's not in order here. No earned runs in 15 innings pitched. Calabello tonight 1 for 3. It's Calabello now and Tulowitzki on deck. The Royals in the bottom of this 8th inning will have the heart of their lineup. Kane, Hosmer, and Morales.
It's a great point about his rest, Joe. 5 off days, very rare for a closer. Keep an eye on command.
Little pop up on the infield. That's Zobrist. 2 out.
Well, Tom, you made the point that with the Royals lineup, you don't know where they're at because they're so interchangeable. And I feel that way with the power in the middle of these guys' lineup. I know I've said it several times in this series, but when you can hit Tulowitzki down in the lineup in the 6th spot, where 28 other teams in the big leagues, 29 other, he may hit 3rd or 4th. That's some length in your lineup right there.
Well, here is Tulowitzki. He leads the Blue Jays in RBIs this postseason. Down for ball 1. He's driven in 11, 7 of them in this series. He's hit 2 postseason home runs. Go ahead run at first with 2 out. That gets away, and down to second in scoring position is Encarnacion.
They weren't anticipating that. They had just moved the third baseman Moustakas to the line to guard against a ball down the line, maybe a double scores Encarnacion. I'm sure they'll probably won't play that close to the line now, but this ball just had a lot of run, and Tommy talked about command. He missed a lot on that pitch.
Outfield playing very deep. 2 strikes, even Encarnacion should be able to score on a hit.
It's a wild pitch. The 2-0 pitch. On the outside corner, 2-1. Wade Davis had only 1 wild pitch the entire regular season. This one puts the go-ahead run in scoring position. The 2-1. 3-1 with Russell Martin on deck.
Best arm in the outfield and left field, Alex Gordon.
Wade Davis certainly does not have to give in to Tulowitzki here, with Martin next, who does not have a hit in this series.
And I think if you're Tulowitzki, he's thinking that same way. He's not sitting there thinking he's going to get a fastball to drive here. And he gets a slider, he's swinging.
Full count.
You got to be aware of what guys around you are doing, and that sets up the pitch you might get.
It starts to rain here in the 8th. Inning over, but not before the damage is done. Jose Bautista. A solo shot in the 4th. A game-tying 2-run home run in the 8th. Game 6 is tied. What a series. Field. It's barely raining right now. This is what's on its way, and I think the way John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, went and talked to the 2 managers, his thought is if it's going to hit, it's going to hit and blow through here before we start the inning. And we'll see how accurate the radar is right now, because right now you would be playing in the kind of rain that we're experiencing here in the 8th in a 3-3 game.
Well, you don't want the disadvantage. You're in a clean inning right now. You're at the bottom half of the Royals, obviously up, but now all of a sudden you're getting to those precious times of who's left in the pen, and to decide a game based on, let's say it's raining and Davis is out there and you shut it down for an hour and he can't come back.
Well, that was what we talked about earlier with the impending rain. You know, this to me is advantage Toronto.
Yes.
Because Davis is already in the game. You're hoping to get, if you're Kansas City, an inning and 2/3 out of him. He's already done the 2/3 part, but now he's going to sit. And even when we resume, it will be his team batting. Meanwhile, for Aaron Sanchez, he relieved last inning, and he's scheduled to go back out there. Now he's got to go sit down, but at least Toronto has their closer left.
Exactly. Haven't used Osuna yet. There's a great point about Davis. Traditionally, closers, they're not used to sitting down between innings. In other words, limited mostly to 3 outs or less. In this case, I think the length of this delay, Joe, will be key as far as Davis going back out in the mound.
Now, the one saving grace for Davis, he's been a starter in the past, so from that mental standpoint, he would be able to do that. But physically, if he sits for very long, how will that affect him is the question.
Why don't we go through the game, this game 6, with Kansas City up 3-2. We go back, and in the first inning, Ben Zobrist took David Price over the wall and left for a 1-0 lead. Second inning, Mike Moustakas, a line drive into the gap. They said not enough interference to overturn the call. The call on the field was home run. It was upheld because there wasn't enough visual evidence to change the call. But then it's been Jose Bautista in the 4th inning off Yordano Ventura. This was launched to make it 2-1. That went over the bullpen, and then moments ago, in the top of the 8th inning, it's Bautista against Madsen, with Kelvin Herrera having been taken out of the game, with Wade Davis waiting in the bullpen. And this game is tied, and it's been Bautista with a bat. Let's go down to the field and check in with Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. John, you were just telling me that before Jose Bautista's at bat, he told you, I might need a pinch runner. What happened?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened. He said he did something to his ankle running around out there. He said, if I get on base, he wouldn't tell me to run for him. He said, you may want to because I'm not moving real good. But basically, he said, well, hit a home run then. You know, that might be a little exaggeration there, but that's what he did. And you know, it's unfortunate it's raining now, but we're feeling a heck of a lot better than we did an inning ago, that's for sure.
The way Price pitched after his early struggles, what did you think?
You know, Kenny, I thought he was tremendous. And you know what? You know, I guess if you could say if justice was served, he got off the hook because he was that good. You know, he gave up a couple of those scratch home runs early, and then he really settled in. I thought he did a tremendous job tonight using his curveball more, you know, because, you know, they know him. He's hard. He threw some great breaking balls, and, you know, he's not going to get a decision tonight, but that should have answered some questions, you know, because he's one of the elite in the game, and he's done a tremendous job for us. And, you know, hopefully he comes back with this team next year. If not, I guarantee he's leading some other team to the playoffs. I can guarantee you that.
What about the catch by Revere?
Well, yeah, that's a game saver. You know, my whole thinking there was, you know, Dave's throwing so good, I want to at least get him through Gordon, you know, and then so we caught a break there, and I didn't figure anybody would notice since it didn't go out. But yeah, we caught a huge break there. But you know, Benny's been known to make some of those highlight catches and really save the game. And sorry spitting on you there, Kenny, but yeah, huge play. But you need that. You know, we felt good coming into this inning. We thought, you know what, hey, we got the right part of our order coming up. You know, season's on the line. If it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen now. So, you know, now it's tied. Now we got to play good baseball from here on in. Hopefully, the rain doesn't last too long where it screws up your pitching, and we'll see.
Well, that was my last question. What does this do to your pitching? What is your plan from here?
Well, really, hopefully Sanchez, if this doesn't last too long, can go out there and maybe get a couple outs for us. And we're going to have Osuna, you know, even a tie game. We'll have him ready to go. And then if you know, if we still have Lowe available, then we'll probably, if it's still tied, we'll probably turn it over to Stroh. You know, not ideal, but you know, we got to win this game.
John, thanks very much.
Okay, Ken.
Joe, back to you.
All right, there aren't a lot of managers that would not only do the interview, but stand there in the dugout with his right shoulder being pounded by rain. They could have moved 3 inches to the left. He would have been dry after that interview. But he is literally one of the all-time great guys, and you know, that's him. What you see there is what he is. He's a very open book. He's not a paranoid manager, and he's somebody who just lets his guys go play. And I think these guys really enjoy playing for John Gibbons, who's in his 3rd year in his 2nd stint. Meanwhile, I know earlier in the game we had a graphic pop up that was supposed to say Kansas City / Toronto against the Mets in the World Series. Well, we look ahead to, if there is a Game 7, it will be the Blue Jays and the Royals. But evidently that graphic was loaded in front of the other one. And so now everybody will scream that there's the fix is in. And of course they want Kansas City and all that stuff. But I don't think for conspiracy theorists it's any more complicated than hitting the wrong button and having the wrong, as we call them, elevator pop up out of the graphics truck. So there you go. We're in Game 6, and the winner of this game, if it's Kansas City, they will officially take on the Mets Game 1 on Tuesday here at Kauffman Stadium. If it's Toronto, then we'll have Game 7 tomorrow night, and the weather's supposed to be out of here by then anyway. Marcus Stroman against Johnny Cueto, but we just heard John Gibbons say, you know, they're down to the part in their bullpen. They don't have a lot of trusted arms. That's a big difference from the other side. So you have Sanchez in there now. You have the closer ready to go, the 20-year-old Osuna. And if you get any deeper into this game, then they might go to tomorrow night's starter, Marcus Stroman, because you got to win this game or it's over, and Game 7 starter doesn't matter.
That's what I love about John Gibbons. Not only is he getting pelted, as you said, on the shoulder, he's giving us his pitching plans for the rest of the game, including his potential Game 7 starter, Marcus Stroman.
Well, we said it at the time, and it was backed up by John Gibbons. These 2 defensive plays were sensational, and who knows what it saved. Ben Revere with a man on and nobody out, that leaping catch, and almost turned it into a double play. Then this play by Ryan Goins to his left on a ball hit by Gordon.
Yeah, that's 1st and 3rd, 1 out if that ball gets through. So yeah, a tremendous defense difference right now in the game.
Well, Price was relieved by Sanchez. He gave up the inherited runner on a hit by Rios to make it 3-1, but then Bautista did his thing, tied it at 3, and that's where we sit. And it was obviously the right decision by John Hirschbeck to pull this tarp out. It is pouring rain. Hopefully the delay will not be too long. That's the word we get, but we don't know. Right now we send it back to Los Angeles. Kevin and his cast of characters ready to go. Taking over here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Both closers now are in the ball game. Wade Davis for Kansas City. We will wait and see if he goes back out there. Odds are he will, but who knows. And here is Osuna. And now we welcome you inside our broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck, Harold Reynolds, Tom Verducci. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out as we go through these the next inning and a half. And I think when you look at, first of all, how baseball handled it, they nailed it. I mean, they got the forecast. It was dead on. They pulled the tarp on. They got everybody off the field. Everybody went inside. They thought it'd be about a 40-minute delay. That's where we are. And now we'll see which team can scratch out a run here before regulation is over, if that does indeed happen.
Well, the first thing I think about is Osuna. Remember the blowout game? He came in and Morales hit the big home run and got a chance. We're coming to the order now. Kane, Hosmer, Morales, Moustakas, who got a look at him already. And I'm always big on the fact that you get a chance to see a guy, and right back, particularly closers, you don't get to see them as often as you do starters. There's the home run from Morales in Toronto the other day. And that was a blowout game, but those were big ABs, and I think that applies right now.
Well, I love the way John Gibbons has managed these elimination games. And you can't just throw Sanchez back out there after 40 minutes and hope he's okay. You rush your best arm into the game, hoping to get 6 outs if this game gets extended. And yes, then hand the ball to Marcus Stroman, who was lined up to start a Game 7.
I think the interesting point with Stroman, too, is once he warms up, you're almost saying goodbye to tomorrow. You don't know what kind of stuff he's going to get.
Well, we're a long way from that. Right now, it's Roberto Osuna, the 20-year-old, who takes over after the two-run shot by Jose Bautista tied it in the top of this 8th inning. About 45 minutes later, here we are, heart of the order for the Royals, up 3-2. 3-3 in the 8th. Kane ready to swing, and 97 from Osuna, strike one.
They don't play around, do they? I mean, let's go stretch, get loose. Here's 97, and oh, by the way, you're swinging at the first pitch. I mean, we're back playing.
One ball, one strike.
That's the way they pitched Kane the entire series. Away. His power inside and especially down. Opposite field, he's a singles hitter.
And that ball right there is the one he shot through between first and second. Big gaping hole over there. And he's shot the ball through there already. The one thing about Lorenzo Cain, he will take the single. And the beauty of a guy like this, he can run. He'll score on a gap. So it's not like he's going to clog the bases.
The outfield is telling you the way they're going to pitch him. Bautista's shaded over towards the line and right.
The numbers are fantastic for Roberto Osuna. Everybody fixates on his age. He's allowed just the one run, and that was the home run we showed you, hit by Kendrys Morales back in Toronto. He has been lights out. Had just missed. Full count. Osuna's allowed just one base runner in his first 6 appearances in the postseason.
Well, he shook to the changeup. That's a great take by Kane.
Oh, he's got to think 97's coming right now.
He would have been wrong. 98.
How about that? I marvel at the arms we've seen throughout the postseason, obviously all year with Major League Baseball, but it's gone to another level with some of the starters we've seen, like Volquez hitting that high radar gun as well.
Another 3-2 pitch. Kane. What a rip.
Power versus power. I don't think he flirts around with anything else. You got to come right back at it.
I agree. You have to be stubborn here. As long as you keep the ball away.
Slider.
Leadoff man is on.
That's hard for me to look at right there.
I'm with you. Don't like it at all.
When you're throwing 97, 98, and you shake to a slider, I just don't see it. The respect for the heater is not there. They're not going to hit it and square it up that often.
Yeah,
He goes to the slider, he misses with it down.
And you're looking for a chase because you don't want to throw the 3-2 slider in the zone. That's too hittable.
Now attention to Kane at first, the go-ahead run. And he pulls the string on Hosmer. Hosmer 0 for 3 tonight. That was against Price. He's off the hook. 6 2/3 for David. 3 runs, 5 hits. 8 strikeouts, a walk.
Last year we saw the Royals really put a lot of pressure with the run game. We haven't seen it a whole lot. That's been the difference, I think, in their lineup. They snuck one out before. Remember the hit and run they had with Hosmer running? That would have been a double play ball. And they stole a couple bags, but nothing like last year.
Rios stole one tonight against Price. 2-1.
getting himself in situations where he has to throw the fastball.
Big swing, 2-2. 97 from Osuna.
I mean, and that's a fastball that Hosmer knows is coming. He's sitting 2-1. You've thrown him off-speed pitches. He knows the fastball's coming. It's that good that he can't catch up to it. That's why I didn't like the pitch to Kane, and I think you got to come back with it here.
Well, that foul ball gets him back into count. Now he can go back to the changeup.
That's into right field. This ball is down. Going to third is Kane. Holding at first. Now Kane coming to the plate. Royals lead. He can fly.
Well, it looked like it's going to be a great play by Bautista. Again, another changeup, which we'll talk about another time. But it looks like it's a great play by Bautista. He's going to cut off a double. But in this situation, you got to throw it in and let the first baseman redirect it because you have Lorenzo Cain. Now, he did this against the Astros when the center fielder fell down on a ground ball to center and he continued on. So you got to know the aggressiveness. And right there, Jersley not hesitate and send him all the way around.
Yeah, but how about doing that with nobody out?
Think about what we just saw. Nobody out, a single to right field. He scores from first base, and he was not running on the pitch. Amazing.
Now Morales, nobody out in front. I mean, that was breathtaking to watch.
He was flying. Mike Jersley did an unbelievable job, the third base coach. He's reading the throw. Bautista spins and comes back with this throw. Right here, he's sending it. There's no way you're going to redirect and get him.
Here's one in the center off the bat of Morales. And it's 2 on with nobody out.
Joe, I was saying before this half inning, I was concerned that they got a chance to see him in the blowout game. It is advantage hitter when you get a chance to see that pitcher in such a short turnaround time, particularly a guy out of the bullpen.
Now Gore is going to come in and run for Morales. Meanwhile, this is the second time, as you look at this one into center field, that Lorenzo Cain has scored from first on a Hosmer single in the postseason. As Harold mentioned, it happened in the Division Series Game 5 against the Astros. He did it then with 1 out. He does it here, trying to win the pennant with nobody out. And Tulowitzki, the relay man, who's got a great arm.
Yeah, Hosmer influences his throw by taking the wide turn. Watch Goins. He's not sure where to set up, so now the ball cannot be cut all the way to second. And once Jersley sees that ball on a long flight from the corner to second base, keep going, baby.
I mean, honestly, you can't fault the defense. That's just a great call by the third base coach. Bautista cut it off through a strike because you're thinking it's going to be a double. You just cut him down.
Now Moustakas, who's had a nice night, a homer, a single, and a run scored. But remember Jersley. And remember how the World Series ended last year in Game 7. And people wondering, as Mark Lowe gets loose. Here comes a 1-0. Moustakas takes down. It was a base hit and then an error in center on a ball hit by Alex Gordon in the 9th inning last year with 2 out. And the conversation that followed was, well, they should have just sent Gordon because Salvador Perez fouls out to end the World Series. He had no chance to score Gordon on that ball in left center field. Jerschley has been waving home Kane twice this postseason brilliantly. But no time bigger than tonight as the count's gone to 3-0 on Moustakas.
He was absolutely right in Game 7 last year and absolutely right tonight. And let's remember, too, Kane, he can't send him if Kane is just satisfied going first to third. That's what I love about this Kansas City team. Aggressiveness at bat, but on the bases, never satisfied with one base, always looking for more.
What a great point, Tom. You give the guy a read by running hard at third by Kane.
Moustakas swinging on 3-0. It's 3-1.
You know, I'm watching Osuna on the other side going to that changeup and just put himself in trouble. The changeup to Hosmer he hits. Now falling behind in counts where they're able to feast on that fastball.
And the 3-2 slider to Kane that started it.
Here comes a 3-1 to Moustakas. Got under it. Skies it to Bautista and right, and the runners will stay put.
A loud pop-up right there.
But let's say this. Here's Toronto with their closer on the mound. Now it's 2-on-1 out. You keep this a one-run game. And John Gibbons will say, okay, well, now let's see what Wade Davis has an hour later after he pitched in the top of this 8th inning, going back out for the 9th.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they have to be thinking about. And he's been sitting there a while. You're right. Keep it here. And I think you got a guy at the plate that you can get a double play ball and get out of the inning with.
Careful first pitch.
Perez.
Nice slider right there.
Strike 2.
I know 40 minutes is a long time to sit, but I got to think Wade Davis has been through this before. Maybe not out of the bullpen, but as a starter, he's sat before. And, you know, we so often we forget the experiences guys have had through the minor leagues and everything else to get to this point.
Well, it'll be over an hour by the time he gets back out there.
It's a long wait.
Here's the 0-2. Perez grounds one to short. Can they turn it? Out at second and got them both. And this is a one-run game going into the 9th inning. And what a job by Roberto Osuna to keep it a one-run game. But now the Royals are 3 outs away from repeating as American League champions. It's Lorenzo Cain all the way from first on a single by Hosmer. And the Royals are back on top by 1. Part of the Big 7th. Post your photos and videos with hashtag the Big 7th, and you might be featured on TV during Game 4 of the World Series. Watch it on Fox.
Well, Joe, how big was that double play ball?
Just enormous. And now the question is, Wade Davis, who last threw a pitch in the game at 10 o'clock straight up, is on the mound a few minutes after 11.
We talked about Davis on 5 days of rest. Now what's important, a little more than an hour of rest after getting hot.
Bottom 3 in the order for Toronto. Now would be a good time for the Blue Jays to see Russell Martin get his first hit. Here's a fly ball into center. It is his first hit. And the leadoff man is on here in the 9th inning for the Blue Jays.
These teams never quit. You can't predict what's going to happen.
And now Pompey is going to come in and run for Russell Martin.
That ball fooled Kane a little bit. I'm not sure he could have got there, but that was off the end of the bat with a big swing. He reacted first by stepping back. Watch the reaction to Reed from Kane. Playing deep anyway, playing no doubles.
That's a tough one to read, regardless for the outfielder.
Well, now the tying run is on. Dalton Pompey, who can really run. Running for Russell Martin. Kevin Pillar up. Moustakas in at third. There he goes. Throw down Perez. Not in time. Stolen base in a blink.
What a money bag. And again, the element of surprise. I don't think anybody anticipated going. Look, Davis has got a high leg kick. He's going to deliver his pitch. And I love the aggressiveness. Dalton Pompey, straight steal, not thinking about anything but getting that bag. That is a money bag.
Absolutely. Had plenty of time to script this out. Hey, if Russell gets on, you're running. And we can run on Davis early in a count.
Now the home plate umpire is out. Looking at something. Alcides Escobar is
checking the rosin on his pants or something.
I don't know. A little quick talk with second base umpire Laz Diaz. Tie run at second, nobody out. 0-1, the count on Pillar. 0 for 2 tonight. But he has been a hot hitter over the last 20 games. One ball, one strike. Hochevar, the right-hander, getting ready for the Royals in their bullpen. Chased it, strike two.
And he's taking an opposite field approach here. And Davis taking advantage of that by running Cutter farther outside.
There's Hochevar. But right now it's Wade Davis and Kevin Pillar, who at the very least wants to advance the runner. Tying run at second, nobody out. .99 from Wade Davis, and as we said, even though he's had the 1 hour layoff in this game, he last worked in this series on Saturday. So well rested.
I can't help but think of how different the game is. We don't move runners anymore.
Here's a 1-2. Set up inside, didn't get the corner. 2-2.
You know, the Royals had a first and second situation when Moustakas flew out, didn't move him. Pompey steals a bag, don't move him.
Runner goes. No throw. And no swing at the plate. Now the tying run is 90 feet away. And the pinch runner, Dalton Pompey, has stolen 2 bases here in the 9th.
How gutsy is that? You're in scoring position, but not being settled with that. Still in the bag at third.
Well, he saw enough pitches from second where Davis would look and then go home, and he picked up the pattern.
Now a 3-2 pitch to Pillar. Foul back here. Infield is in for the play at the plate. Deoner Navarro is in the on-deck circle. He'll have to enter in the bottom of this inning after they pinch ran for Russell Martin. What a call that was with Dalton Pompey. He's at third. Another 3-2 pitch. Inside, ball 4. First and third, nobody out.
Well, we're clearly seeing the effect of the layoff for Davis. Not only hasn't pitched in a while, but he has not been sharp, and particularly now with the hour layoff, that's the first thing that goes is command. And we're seeing it. The stuff's there. He's got a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, but the location and being able to put the ball where he wants is the difference right now.
Now it's Navarro.
Now the Royals trying to hedge their bets here defensively. Infield in on left side. But you still have to honor a potential stolen base by Pilar. You just can't concede that base.
And the way they're set up, you got to run right away if you're Pilar. They're not going to be able to defend it from how they're set up. No way.
Pilar in this series, 1 steal. He's 1 for 1.
When you look at the infielders, you got the shortstop over in the hole and the second baseman there. In order for them to go, they have to vacate a spot, and you're not in a position angle-wise to be able to cover a ground ball if one's hit. I don't think they're going to defend the throw.
Navarro. Ball 1 inside.
I'm with you. You're certainly not going to see a slide step out of Wade Davis either.
The 1-0. Good rip by Navarro. Meanwhile, Pompey, the runner at third, 2 steals in this inning. And 4 for 4 in the stolen base department this postseason. That is a weapon off the bench.
Well, the steal at third. Okay, I see the 1 to second. The steal at third I did not see coming. That was brilliant.
The 1-1. Outside corner, strike 2.
He didn't stop right there. That's why the bench is going crazy, because he did not stop his motion. That's a quick pitch, and that should have been a balk. Watch Wade Davis come up to deliver. He does not stop. He's coming back, and you got to give some kind of stop more than I thought he did.
But you're right. The bench reacted. So did the third base coach. Now a 1-2. There goes Pilar. Struck him out. One away. But down to second is Pilar with the infield in. 1 down.
Woo. The danger with that is if he hits the ball at somebody, you get a double play. They had that open early. They didn't do anything different on that pitch than they did previously. Here's the strikeout, but they were defending it to give him second base the whole time.
It is a stolen base for Pilar. That's 3 steals in this 9th inning.
Now you have to think about Revere, his ability to drop a bunt. It's not a fly ball hitter where you really think of a guy being able to hit the sacrifice fly. More of a ground ball hitter. Infield in, might be tough to score Pompey with a ground ball.
Infield way in. Ball 1 outside.
I'm not thinking about bunting here. I'm thinking about picking up 2 runs with 1 swing. If he hits a sharp ground ball through the infield, you got the lead.
Again, Alex Gordon in left field, the best arm. All good arms across. Alex Gordon exceptional in left.
Two 2-0. On deck is Donaldson. First base open. Revere 2 hits in this game. Strike 1.
Nice pitch right there, a little 2-0 slider. I'm sure that Revere was not thinking that was coming his direction, that's for sure.
Strike 2. And Revere can't believe it.
Well, most leadoff guys are looking fastball adjust, so he's not fooled by the pitch. And that ball's up and out a little bit for him.
It was 2-0. Now it's 2-2. Second and third, 1 out. 2 out.
Joey threw the 2-0 slider, so he's thinking strikeout. Then the 2-1, that's the pitch he doesn't like, that's up and out. That changed the whole at-bat. He's sitting 3-1, and now you go 2-2. He comes back with a nasty hook to get you. Davis had to think strikeout that whole at-bat, and that call on the 2-1 pitch changed the whole AB.
And Revere is taking it to a trash can. Now it's Donaldson. Second and third. 2 out. All one. The offense for the Blue Jays waits on deck. Jose Bautista.
Donaldson 1 for 7 with 4 strikeouts against Wade Davis.
The Blue Jays are 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position in this game. 2 sitting out there for Donaldson. The 1-0. The Blue Jays had the tying run at third and nobody out. Navarro struck out. Second and third, 1 out. Revere struck out. Second and third, 2 out. And a 1-1 coming to Donaldson after a timeout. George Brett checking his ticker and his pulse. Here's a 1-1. Boy, this would be some win for Wade Davis. Sitting there for an hour plus. And it'd be some comeback by the Blue Jays if Donaldson can find one against Wade Davis. Here comes a 2-1. Left side. Moustakas. Royals win the pennant. Back-to-back American League pennants for the Kansas City Royals, and off they go to the Fall Classic for a date on Tuesday night here against the New York Mets.
Well, the season last year for Kansas City ended with the potential tying run at third base. Tonight, they just ended the season of Toronto with the potential tying run at third base, beginning with nobody out. And that mad dash by Lorenzo Cain, that's got a spot next to Enos Slaughter in 1946. Game 7 of the World Series, beating the Boston Red Sox by scoring all the way from first base.
Well, there's so many things you can talk about in this game. Mike Jersley with the call waving Lorenzo Cain. But, Tom, you made such a great point when it happened. Lorenzo Cain gave him a great read. You only get as good a read as the base runner gives you. And he gave him a tremendous read. And then I go back to the top of the ninth right here with the Blue Jays. The 2-1 pitch to Rivera is what they're going to be discussing in their clubhouse. Ball up and out, changes the count to 3-1. And Davis is looking for the strikeout the rest of the way. It was 2-2. He came back with a nasty slider. That was the difference.
They talk about a white knuckle save. That was a white knuckle win for Wade Davis. And man, what a year. What a run he's been on. And the numbers just keep piling up. Now his last 13 postseason appearances from last year's ALCS through now, no earned runs in 16 2/3 innings pitched. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Wade, ninth inning, first and third, none out. What was going through your mind?
I mean, it got pretty bad there, pretty quick, but just kept telling myself we can get out of it. You know, keep making pitches. You got plenty left, and you know, just get this win for the team.
What was it like having to deal with an hour-long delay for you?
It wasn't that bad. I went inside, did some work, and I stayed loose and made sure I was ready to come back out.
Did you expect to be in the game earlier, top of the eighth inning?
Yeah, I knew there was a chance. You know, Mad Dog usually gets it done, but you know, Bautista swinging a hot bat, so unfortunately we got in there and got it done.
Last question. You get traded here a couple of years ago. You weren't even a reliever at the start. You weren't a closer about 6 weeks ago. What has this journey been like for you?
Oh, it's been a blast. You know, I've been surrounded by a lot of good people, and I've been real fortunate.
Wade, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations to Wade Davis. He gives up that leadoff hit, the 2 steals. Second and third, 2 out, and this to Moustakas, who had a big night tonight all the way around.
It's the definition of clutch pitching. With the tying run third, less than 2 outs, to keep the ball out of play, to get 2 strikeouts, and then finally the ground ball for the 27th out.
Guys, you see these celebrations? That's why we play the game. You go back to being a little boy in the backyard. This is the reactions are why we play the game. This is going to be a tremendous World Series. I'm so excited. We got 2 clubs. The Royals were done years ago. They've come back, and now you got the New York Mets, who were down and out of it for the last 15 years. This is going to be fun.
And one of the greatest third basemen ever, cheering with Moustakas, the 2015 third baseman for the Kansas City Royals, making that final out. Let's go down to Aaron Andrews.
Joe, thanks. Lorenzo, you have to take me back after you get done with these hugs, of course. I need to know, when you scored all the way from first on that Eric Hosmer single, what did you see to know you would make it there?
I really didn't see anything. I was just hustling all the way. You know, I was kind of, you know, struggling to get to third, but, you know, my leg's not 100%, but I was giving it all I had, and got close to third, and I saw Jerry send to me. And I didn't know what happened, but I just kept going.
And then I saw the knee just bleeding everywhere in the dugout, obviously, after the play.
Yeah, definitely a hard slide. I was definitely trying to get there. Cut myself up a little bit, but I'll be ready to go.
You know, the number one thing you guys have said this entire postseason, and Ned Yo said, even from spring training, we are not a fluke. Last year was not a great story. It wasn't a joke. What is different about this team than last year's team that went to the World Series?
I mean, we got guys that, you know, came in this year with one set goal, and that's to get back to the World Series. And like I say, we started off by winning the division, and we kept fighting, got home field advantage, played in front of this outstanding crowd. And like I say, now we're going back to the World Series. You know, couldn't be any better than this.
We'll see you here Tuesday night.
All right, it sounds good.
Sounds real good for you. Joe?
Thanks, Aaron. Prior to Lorenzo Cain doing it twice, scoring from first on a single with less than 2 outs. The last time in the postseason a player did it on a single with less than 2 down was Frankie Frisch for the Giants in Game 2 of the 1924 World Series against Washington. High Pockets Kelly knocked in Frisch with 1 out. Tonight, it was Cain scoring on the single by Hosmer, and it was Davis shutting it down. Jay and Dan, to you in Los Angeles.
On Tuesday night, they'll be going to the World Series, of course, back-to-back World Series. And joining me on stage right now from the Kansas City Royals is David Glass, chairman and owner, Dan Glass, the president, Dayton Moore, senior vice president and general manager, and Ken Olick, Senior Vice President, Business Operations. And of course, your Kansas City Royals manager, Ned Yost. Well, yes, you. We'll get to you in just a minute. We just opened up the mic to the entire stadium. I'll ask it again. Hey, Kansas City, what are you doing on Tuesday night? That's right, we'll be back here. Let me introduce now to present the William Heritage Trophy to the American League champions, our honorary American League president, Hall of Famer, Mr. Frank Robinson.
Thank you. On behalf of Rob Manfred, the Commissioner of Baseball, and the American League, I would like to congratulate the entire Kansas City organization for a great series and the winner of the second American League pennant in a row. Congratulations.
And of course, there's the William Heritage Trophy going to Mr. Glass. David, I know you had said when you walked up here on the stage, that was nerve-wracking. I almost didn't get through it. But how good does this feel?
Well, I can't describe it. But I'm honored to accept this trophy on behalf of all the Kansas City Royals organization. The players, the coaches, the front office, but I'm really happy to accept it on behalf of all of you, the fans. Without you, this wouldn't have been possible. So let's go fix what we didn't finish last year.
Dayton, I'm going to bring you over for a second. We had talked about this the other day in the dugout. Your manager, Ned Yost, paid you quite a compliment to our broadcasting crew, saying they don't make many like you anymore. It's not just about the computer stats. It's not, what the books say. It's a lot to do about character and how these gentlemen fit in and gel with one another in the clubhouse. What makes this group one of a kind?
Well, they're a special group. They really love to play. And, I got to credit all of our scouts, our development people for finding the right guys, and Ned and the coaching staff who create such a great culture, for this clubhouse. And it's unbelievable. And, what an opponent we had. Toronto, unbelievable team. And for our guys to go out and do what they did in front of our great fans is special.
Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Yost, get on over here. How does the second straight time up here feel?
Well, it feels great. Last year at this time, we were so excited to be here. Right. This year, from the first day of spring training, we expected to be here. So
they love that. You know how to charm a crowd.
But our players, they had such a great season. They would never quit. They continued the battle even when the chips were down a little bit. And it enabled me to put on this new hat today that has World Series on it. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday.
All right, well, we have another bit of hardware to pass out. Mr. Robinson, I will let you pass out the Leland S. McPhail Jr. Trophy to the most valuable player of the ALCS, Mr. Alcides Escobar.
Tonight, I'm going to call you Mr. Escobar. Congratulations on a terrific series and helping your team get into the World Series. Congratulations.
Oh, well, before we get to your dad, Mossy, how old is Mossy here?
2 years.
2 years. What is he? Does he like trophies?
Yeah.
Alcides, a 10-game hitting streak, 6 runs scored, 5 RBI. Just tell me, what is it about you and the postseason?
The first thing I want to say thank you to everybody in here. Thank you to my teammate. Thank you to the Kansas City organization. And now about the game. In this area, I feel really good. And the home play, I made a lot of adjustments. And that's why they got a great series.
I've been asking all the guys all night, what is the biggest difference in your mind with this group going to the World Series versus last year's team?
You know, last year, that's a really good team. And this year, better team than last year. And the next step, that's the world champion.
More importantly, how hard is it to hold a 2-year-old and the MVP trophy at the same time?
Yeah, I'm so happy. You know, I want to say, like, thank you to all these fans in here. They give a lot of support every game.
Does Mossy want to say anything?
Bye.
I love you.
Yeah! That also means we'll see you guys Tuesday night. Congratulations to the Kansas City Royals. Kev, back over to you.